dozens of times here on News 4 and online.
And we begin with today's Attorney General announcement, which surprised many. He's dropping criminal charges against an Oklahoma City police officer who slammed a 71-year-old to the ground during an argument over a traffic ticket. Video of the encounter sparked backlash even outside of Oklahoma.
Yeah, but tonight the AG says the officer never should have been charged, and one thing could have prevented all of this from ever happening.
Our community is just disappointed. Our community is hurting, but more so, the family's hurting.
That hurt tied to Attorney General Gitner Drummond's decision Friday to dismiss an Oklahoma City police sergeant's criminal charge. Tied to this. It's an October 27th traffic stop you've probably seen dozens of times here on News 4 and online. Sergeant Joseph Gibson and 71-year-old Lit Vu arguing over a traffic ticket. Vu tells Gibson to shut up, touches Gibson, and is thrown to the ground. Vu suffered a brain bleed, fractures to his face and his spine.
Mr. Vu will never be the same.
Tuan Nguyen is the president-elect of the Vietnamese American community of Oklahoma. He told us earlier this month he was relieved when Oklahoma County District Attorney Vicky Bahena charged Gibson with aggravated assault and battery. The AG clearly disagreeing with her decision, going over her head and saying Friday he does not believe the officer exhibited criminal intent and that the incident never would have happened, quote, if Mr. Vu had kept his hands to himself. Bahena saying in her own statement she's surprised and disappointed Drummond, quote, took this case away from her office, saying, quote, and the citizens of Oklahoma County.
In this moment in time, we're still questioning, we're still, distraught.
Questions also tied to a probable cause affidavit saying some of the police department's own de-escalation and defensive tactics instructors believe the force Gibson used was not reasonable.
I actually got 20 emails and phone calls from officers around the country, police officers that didn't agree with the decision that was made by the AG's office today.
Local FOP President Mark Nelson voicing continued support for Gibson, saying dismissing the charge was the right thing to do. Former Attorney General Mike Hunter, one of Gibson's attorneys, echoing the same, saying Drummond's support for the complex decision Sergeant Gibson, his fellow OCPD officers, and law enforcement officers around the state must make is acknowledged and appreciated. While Nguyen disagrees, he says it's Vu who's suffering a cruel new reality.
Will he be able to walk again? Will he be able to actually function normally again? Or is his cognitive ability messed up forever?
And Oklahoma City police say Gibson is still on administrative leave with no clarification on when or if he'll be able to return to work.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Subscribe to the channel.
TCU. The crime that is just now coming to light. It is a crazy Christmas Eve kidnapping that ends with one man in jail. Andrea Lucia speaking with Haltom City Police, who believe a woman was held hostage and then taken for a joyride.
Just before 5 in the morning on Christmas Eve, a 22-year-old woman headed out the door to work was approached in the parking lot of the Acacia Apartments in Haltom City by a man with a gun. Police say he asked which car was hers, ordered her in the back seat, then drove her to an ATM to withdraw $400 in cash. According to a police affidavit, the man told her he was going to sell her organs and that they were going to prostitute her. He eventually led her out near some trees, using her own shoelace to tie her arms around one before taking off. She managed to escape and run to a nearby apartment complex in Grapevine, 20 miles from where she was first taken. That afternoon, police say her stolen car was involved in a hit and run in North Richland Hills, and the next day discovered parked near a residential neighborhood in Oklahoma City, with the suspect, 35-year-old Eduardo Javier Ordonez Godoy, inside. Haltom City Police say he confessed and stated that he needed cash and happened to see the victim walking alone. He said the statements he made about selling her organs or prostituting her were jokes because she was nervous. Ordonez is now in an Oklahoma jail charged with aggravated kidnapping, aggravated robbery, and other crimes. And the victim, despite getting quite the scare, was not physically harmed. In Haltom City, Andrea Lucia, CBS News, Texas.
To the Metroplex or this is your home, North Texas police are warning you, don't set off fireworks or fire guns on New Year's Eve tomorrow. To cut down on the illegal activity, there's a neighborhood in Southeast Dallas hiring its own security. Our Caroline Vandergrift live now from Marcellus Park, and walk us through their plans for this, Caroline. We know this is a major problem for a lot of areas.
It really is, and we've already heard a few gunshots while being out here today, so the celebration has already begun. That's why the Homeowners Association here is taking matters into their own hands.
Well, we've been running it up all day, man.
Loud fireworks and random gunfire. Ringing in the new year with a bang.
We've been running it up on the shorts, running it up on the lives, man. We just been running it up over here, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. Be a part of the progress, man. The process, man. For real, subscribe.
Dallas police received 57 calls about random gunfire and 641 calls for holiday signal random gunfire. Those are incidents where callers didn't actually see the gunfire and didn't want to interact with officers.
Someone can lose a life behind that gunshot, and it has happened.
The Marcellus Park Homeowners Association finally said enough is enough about 5 years ago.
It was out of control. Fireworks was just out of control. And so one day we were talking about what could we do, and someone came up, light came on, said, let's see if we can hire officers to patrol our area. So then we, little bumblebees, we got busy.
Now they use their own money to bring in 2 or 3 off-duty police officers to patrol the neighborhood's 11 streets. It costs almost $2,000 for the night, but the president of the Homeowners Association says it's money well spent.
And every year it gets better. And that's good. That tells us we're doing something constructive, that we are progressing, and that we're helping others.
She says it's something other communities should consider for a more peaceful new year.
I just like my peaceful, quiet neighborhood back.
DPD says residents should expect to see an increased police presence on New Year's Eve. They want to remind people, if you are caught firing a gun in the air, punishments range from 1 to 10 years in jail and up to $10,000 in fines. Live in Dallas, I'm Caroline Vandergrift, CBS News, Texas.
We just want everyone to have a fun and safe New Year's. Caroline, thank you so much.
Oh, shit. My bad, y'all. That was my
Tough
fault.
story now at 6. A search to find the person who police say attacked a 70-year-old man. Take a look at the pictures released of the suspect. A store manager says the attack happened when a regular customer refused to give a homeless man money. It happened in November on the west side, and now police say they need your help finding the suspect. KENS 5 reporter Mike Jimenez has the details.
It was 7:30 in the morning on November 21st when a customer at the Biggs located at 2101 South Laredo Street was approached by a homeless man in the parking lot. We spoke to the store manager who didn't want to show her face, but says the customer is a regular.
Homeless person was walking by asking for money, and we told him no. He got upset and keyed his car.
According to police, the man was told by another customer while he was in the store about the damage to his car. So we went to confront the suspect, who was now down the street in the 1300 block of South Brazos Street. That's when authorities say he was attacked. The store manager says she didn't see it happen, but did see the victim's injuries the next morning.
Did have a swollen eye. His face was swollen.
Crime Stoppers is now offering up to a $5,000 reward for information leading to a felony arrest in the attack. Police say the man is facing a charge of injury to elderly.
Hopefully they catch him and get him off the streets so he won't attack anyone else.
If you know who the suspect is, you can contact Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP. And remember, you can remain anonymous. Mike Jimenez, KENS 5.
A 17-year-old student near Austin faces felony charges after allegedly poisoning a classmate's show goat with pesticide. According to an arrest affidavit, Cedar Park police arrested her in November for quote, intentionally and knowingly torturing the animal. Jessica Chow breaks down what led up to the student's arrest and how neighbors are reacting.
It
It was a Wednesday on October 23rd at Vista Ridge High School's Future Farmers of America agricultural facility. It's just a half-mile down the road from the school. That's where security cameras caught 17-year-old Aubrey Van Landingham grabbing supplies, walking to the goat pen with a syringe-like item, and forcing it into a goat's mouth several times. Cedar Park police say that was the second time in a 3-day span Van Landingham fed Willie, the 6-month-old goat, a toxic pesticide, eventually killing it.
Yeah, I hear the animals all the times, and you think that they're having a good life there. And
Selma Diaz lives a block from the agricultural facility and is a Vista Ridge graduate.
Yeah, it was very shocking to hear what happened there, because especially, when you're in that program, you're supposed to have such a love for animals.
Diaz says being an FFA was extremely popular when she was in school, and she says it's a tradition for some families that span generations. Investigators say Van Landingham, a member of the FFA, admitted to poisoning Willie when they arrested her in November. They say the reason why she did it is because Willie's owner is, quote, a cheater, and Aubrey doesn't like cheaters. They also say they found Google searches for how much bleach can kill an animal, as well as videos and pictures of Willie convulsing sent to the victim's mother on Van Landingham's phone.
To go a couple of days poisoning the goat on purpose it's just so heartless.
We also reached out to the victim's family for comment. We have not yet heard back. Leander ISD has yet to confirm if Van Landingham is still attending Vista Ridge High School. She is scheduled to appear in a Williamson County court on January 15th.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet.
We begin with breaking news now at 10, a deadly and violent Monday night in the city. Right now, we are following several stories.
On the east side, a 14-year-old is accused of stabbing and killing her stepfather. We'll have a live report in just minutes. And on the west side, police say teens fired several shots into a home. A man was hit and has life-threatening injuries.
But first tonight, a deadly shooting at a busy travel center off I-10 and North Foster Road. That is where we find KENS 5 reporter Megan Reyna, who is following this story for us tonight. Megan?
Well, Henry EC's police say a young man was shot all over his body earlier tonight. Witnesses told investigators this happened around 7 when a group of people started firing off several shots. But what's behind me is really what paints a picture of what happened here earlier tonight. I'm counting at least 70 evidence markers. You're seeing several shell casings, even a loaded magazine and a shoe on the ground. We do know at least 2 guns were used in this shooting, and it happened just feet away from the TA Travel Center with several people inside. Police say the victim appears to be in his late teens to early 20s. He was found dead in his vehicle, which is across this parking lot, with a gun next to him. They say it's unclear if he was firing back. Police believe the suspects took off in 3 vehicles. They have located one of those vehicles, but have not caught up with any of the suspected shooters. I spoke to one couple who were inside the TA Travel Center when they saw a security guard run outside. Minutes later, they saw the ambulance pull up. They told me they're homeless, living out of their vehicle, and are now having a hard time finding a safe space to stay.
But it's honestly, it's getting worse in San Antonio. So, I mean, we're just trying to hang in there.
To be even out as a homeless person.
Yeah. You think you're safe, or you got all these security guards and someone just shoots it up. I used to work right there at Amazon, so.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet.
Shooting. They also don't have
tap
the
the screen and
descriptions of
hit the
those
like button,
suspects.
y'all.
We also just a few minutes ago saw the medical examiner pull up to the scene. Something else I want to point out here as well is that investigators said they could be out here for a long time just because of the lack of manpower within the department, because of all of the violent incidents that have occurred across the city tonight. Reporting live from the east side, Megan Reyna, KENS 5.
It has been a lot. Thanks so much, Megan.
unit continues to follow right behind this pickup truck driver. Very, very dangerous. I'm getting some information from the assignment desk. They were in touch with the CHP again. The other black GMC pickup truck that they were chasing, that driver was placed into custody at Satakoy and Lancashire after that driver got out and ran just a little while ago. So they have one driver of the two drivers they were seeking here in custody, but this one, Amy, does not want to give up.
And Mark, I have to ask you, and I apologize if you did mention, were these trucks stolen from a lot or something?
Well, we don't know. The CHP says that the information that they got was from a manager. So we know that there's some sort of business associated with these trucks. We don't know if it was a used car lot, a new car lot, or perhaps these were fleet vehicles for some kind of a business. But a manager of some kind gave the CHP information about the onboard GPS system that these trucks have. And the CHP was able to ping that onboard GPS system and find these trucks were in the area of the 5 and the 138 about an hour ago. And they sent some units to investigate, and sure enough, they spotted them, tried to light them up, and that's when both drivers refused to comply, and the pursuit was on.
Well, that's crazy, boy. These people are, okay, LA County charged with 8 felonies related, okay. Oh, this shit not even long right here. My bad,
Serious accusations. He's been arrested in West LA on sexual assault charges. 42-year-old Babak Hassan. And a local doctor facing serious accusations. He's been arrested in West LA on sexual assault charges. 42-year-old Babak Hassan was arrested for the sexual assault of an unconscious person. He worked as a doctor at Wound and Burn Centers of America in LA and at Catalina Island Health in Catalina. Investigators say he would use job recruiting websites and invite potential victims to his home. Now, he's been charged with 2 counts of rape by use of drugs and 1 count of rape of an unconscious person. Investigators believe there could be more victims.
Horrifying attack in Riverside County. A woman says she was beaten and kidnapped by another woman. And as KCAL's Joy Benedict shows us, the two were supposed to be meeting for a charity donation. I thought I was going to die the second she had a taser to my head. I can't believe I didn't die.
It was on this block of Memory Lane in Winchester where a local woman was kidnapped in a heart-stopping moment. She says she'll never forget.
And hit the like button, y'all.
Erin Quinn says she went to that neighborhood almost 2 weeks ago, expecting to pick up toys for a toy drive after she'd been texting with someone since the day before.
I go and I knock on the door, nobody's answering, and I'm getting text messages stalling.
But after being told to go wait in her car, she says she was attacked.
I get in my front seat, and as I'm sitting down, somebody in my back seat grabs my hair and then starts tasing me on the side of my head. My brain was jolting so bad, I was thinking I was either gonna die or pass out. I thought that was it.
Forced to then drive a couple of blocks to a construction area. But then she fought back.
And I wound up crashing my car.
After the crash, things got physical, and she realized she knew her attacker.
I was kicking her, and I went to pull her hair, and I pulled off her wig. And when I pulled it off, I realized it was my old house cleaner.
She says at this point, a good Samaritan came to help.
Somebody pulled her off. If he wasn't there, I don't know what would have happened.
Sheriff's deputies arrived, and this mother of 2 was left with numerous bruises, burns, and cuts. Her attacker was gone.
It's been hell. Complete hell. My kids are terrified. I'm terrified.
Friday, deputies made an arrest. Olga Mendez is now in custody facing numerous charges, including kidnapping. Quinn says she hadn't seen her in 4 years and has no idea why she did this.
She was having me drive to a secluded area. I don't know who was waiting for me, but I know it wasn't going to be good.
And although Quinn is thankful she was able to fight her off, she admits she made a big mistake, which is why she is speaking out now.
Even if it's just going outside your car to pump your gas, lock it up, because you never ever know.
For as thankful as she is her attacker is caught, she knows she will have to keep fighting to keep her behind bars. Joy Benedict, KCAL News.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen
Breaking
and hit
news,
the
a shooting
like button.
investigation in downtown LA. Desmond Shaw is live in SkyCal. Des, what's going on?
Leslie, we are in front of the busy 7th and Fig Plaza where they have the big shopping center as well as a metro station basically attached to it. And that's where LAPD tells us that 2 people have been shot tonight. One of them may be a security guard. The other, it's unknown who that was, but one of the 2 victims said to be not conscious, not breathing. They and the other person who was conscious and breathing have both been transported to nearby California hospital in otherwise unknown condition. It's unclear exactly where the shooting happened. As I zoom in, though, you can see what looks like a lot of Target employees out here. So it may have been in front of one of the stores, not confirmed that it was inside the store. And the person that got away was last seen fleeing south on Figueroa. They ran out of the building looking for a man wearing a black trench coat. Unfortunately, a very vague description. Lanes in Figueroa are going to be blocked here for several hours for this big investigation. Live at SkyCal overhead, I'm Desmond Shaw. Leslie, back to you in the studio.
And we are following breaking news. The CHP is in pursuit of a stolen truck. Now, assignment manager Mark Liu is live at the desk with details. Now, Mark, there were 2 trucks that the CHP was chasing?
Yeah, we actually had a double pursuit just a few minutes ago, Amy, but it looks like one of the 2 vehicles involved, which was also a GMC pickup, gave up. That driver taken into custody at Saticoy and Lancashire, but there is still a second vehicle here, this full-sized gray GMC Sierra with a personalized plate. CHP has been chasing this truck for the better part of about 50 minutes. CHP got information just a little while ago that 2 trucks were taken from Carson City, Nevada last night. And they ended up getting pinged on the 5 and the 138. Somehow they have some kind of a GPS tracker, possibly OnStar. That's a part of a GMC product line. These vehicles were located at the 138 and the 5. CHP sent a couple.
These kids go from 0 to 100 overnight.
It doesn't matter the type of crime, where it happened, or the reason behind it. Indianapolis youth outreach activists like Aaron Smith say it's always troubling when crime involves young people, especially this time of year.
It doesn't make any sense, right? I guess Santa Claus didn't come.
Lawrence police arrested 3 teenagers for leading officers on a chase in a stolen car. It happened Saturday night just after 10 p.m. near East 42nd Street and North Franklin Road. Investigators say the trio ran off from the car but were eventually apprehended by police.
You have to be accountable for where your kids are at. You should know where your kids are at all times.
Just an hour or so before that incident, IMPD says a teenager was shot in a separate disturbance on Indy's west side around 9 p.m. Police say it stemmed from an argument between the teen victim and a person in a car as the teen walked down the street. Smith says no argument should ever lead to gunfire.
You gotta have courageous conversations versus bold violence. It takes more courage and character to have a conversation with the person that you're into it with. The violence is the easiest part.
Kokomo PD is also investigating a string of separate auto thefts. The department said Friday it recovered 2 stolen cars and detained 5 juveniles connected to the cases. Activists like Smith argue youth are growing up too quickly and often need more structure in their lives.
That's the problem. We have to get everybody back to the levels of life, right? You know, hey, you're just a teen. Stay a teen. Don't try to be an adult right now. Everybody thinks they have to be the person on the internet, and it takes time to get there.
Smith helps mentor indie juveniles. He also wrote an educational book to help youngsters become young stars. He says the Hoosier State is making progress when it comes to reducing teen crime, but there's more to be done to help all young people find their purpose.
We as a community need to find a way to help these kids direct.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all.
Into a legitimate
double tap the screen and hit the like button.
Skoik, Fox 59 News.
Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Double tap the screen and hit the like button.
That officer-involved shooting in Lawrence we told you about at the top of the hour. Police filling us in with an update right now.
So let's listen in.
This time. So again, this information is preliminary and subject to change. Just before 4:30 p.m., officers with the Lawrence Police Department initiated a traffic stop in the 6900 block of Pendleton Pike. While officers were attempting that traffic stop, the suspect vehicle fled and a vehicle pursuit ensued. During the vehicle pursuit, Shots were fired from the suspect vehicle. The vehicle pursuit continued and came to a stop behind me here in the 6500 block of East 30th Street. Once that vehicle came to a stop, an officer-involved shooting occurred. At least one Lawrence police officer and one IMPD officer fired their service weapons during the traffic stop. Officers, with the assistance of IMPD SWAT, approached the vehicle and encountered at least one occupant that was deceased. The individual was taken into custody, and the investigation remains ongoing at this time. No officers or uninvolved parties were injured. That is all the information that we have for you right now. We are going to be gathering further details and working closely with the Lawrence Police Department as well. We will not take any questions right now, but again, we want to reiterate that we don't believe there to be any ongoing threat to the public at this time, and do not believe there to be any suspects outstanding. So thank you. We will have a more detailed briefing later.
Thank you.
So that was.
All right, we just heard our IMPD officer there giving an update on what's going there in the east side.
IMPD spent several hours out here today on 30th Street between Shadeland and Arlington. This is where a police pursuit ended and ultimately resulted in an officer-involved shooting, marking the fourth one just this month.
Our officers are responding to violence.
This was the site of another scene of violence that IMPD Chief Chris Bailey expressed his concerns about Monday evening. An afternoon of gunfire unfolded after Lawrence police pulled over a driver for a simple license plate infraction. Investigators say a woman got out of the car during the stop, but the male driver took off and began shooting at officers who quickly chased behind until ending on 30th Street near Shadeland Ave.
2 Lawrence police officers and 1 IMPD officer fired their service weapon during this incident. Officers gave multiple loud verbal commands to the suspect to show his hands and put his hands up.
SWAT units arrived to help provide officers with extra support. Eventually, police detained the suspect, but medics say he died unseen. IMPD and Lawrence PD say no officers were injured, but detectives say multiple cars were struck by the suspect's gunfire during the police chase.
I'm happy that our officers are safe from this incident, and that our community is safe. There's no other outstanding suspects that were involved in this incident.
I'm thankful that nobody in our community was hurt, despite some property damage that can be fixed and replaced. Human lives cannot.
Police say the woman in the suspect's car is cooperating with the investigation. So far, no word on her relation to the suspect. Monday's police shooting now marks the 17th of the year, compared to 18 total last year. Chief Bailey says violent attacks on police officers have to stop.
Obviously, we don't want these to happen. But I'm not sure what else we're supposed to do when our officers are attacked by guns, by knives, by machetes. That they have a right to go home to their families at the end of the night. They have an obligation to protect the community.
Officers with Lawrence PD and IMPD have been placed on administrative leave, and both departments say the investigation is still ongoing. In Indianapolis, Michael Van Scoik.
Subscribe to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button.
It all began early Sunday morning at Eskenazi Hospital when 2 men walked in with severe stab wounds. Both were eventually pronounced dead. They've since been identified as 31-year-old Tyler Amos and 32-year-old TJ Walker. Police traced their killings back to this bar on the west side, where police were called around that same time for a fight. But by then, the 2 victims had already been taken to the hospital. Investigators have not said what the catalyst was for that deadly encounter.
Whoever did this, y'all get to go home to y'all family. And they didn't get to come back to this.
Carlton Amos was TJ's brother and Tyler's first cousin, and described them both as caring family men.
He was loved by his family. He was loved by his friends. We know TJ was going to always be there whenever that we need him. Tyler was loved by people at his job. He was loved, of course, by his family.
Having lost 2 family members at the same time during the holiday season, Carlton says his family is devastated and he's angry at the person responsible.
You know that the life that you took, the lives that you took, lives that you have taken at this moment, they're gone. They're on a run. and I hope justice is served.
Neighboring businesses told us the bar in question is trouble, and it appeared abandoned tonight with trash littering the parking lot. Carlton says he hopes it remains closed until the killer is caught, and his message to that person is to come forward.
Whoever you are, turn yourself in. And if you know who it is, speak up.
On Indy's West Side, I'm Max Lewis, Fox 59 News.
Police are looking for the smash and grab criminals who hit a far East Dallas jewelry store on Sunday afternoon. Fox 4's Stephen Dial spoke to the man who was behind the counter and is live with more. Hi, Stephen.
His parents owned the jewelry store inside the grocery store, and he says that he froze and was in shock as 4 suspects got away with thousands of dollars in jewelry. Whoa. 4 suspects spent less than 30 seconds ransacking this jewelry store display located inside the El Rancho grocery store on Gus Thompson and Ferguson Roads Sunday afternoon. Their target, gold chains and other jewelry. 3 had masks on, 1 did not.
It all happened so quickly, within 30 seconds, I didn't have a chance to react how I wanted to.
Angel Cuenca is the man you see behind the counter. He says he froze when the thieves were smashing glass and running off with jewelry. He was working Sunday to give his mother a break. She opened the store back in 2010.
He went straight for the showcases that had all the heavy items. Like we had, a chain that was worth around $15,000.
Dallas police confirmed the incident happened around 4 p.m. Sunday. The suspects moved quick but were calm and didn't even look around or at the 2 people behind the counter. They grabbed trays of jewelry and ran away.
It's unfortunate, someone working 80 hours a week and just have their American dream snatched away from them. I mean, this is literally what put me through Texas Tech and SMU.
The store owners say that there is another video they did not release that shows a possible 5th suspect that was working as a lookout. Last month, a similar smash and grab happened at a jewelry store inside an El Rancho in Houston.
Definitely organized and premeditated. Luckily, everyone's okay, but it's just sickening the trauma that, my family had to endure yesterday.
A witness took a picture of the license plate from that getaway vehicle. The owner said that they gave that to DPD investigators. Now, I mentioned this incident to the Harris County Sheriff because of that similar incident that happened a month ago. He said they could possibly be connected.
All right.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. Appreciate everybody coming over here, man, rocking with me, man. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit all notifications. If you trying to hit the like button, the 3 white dots is one way you can hit the like button. Double tapping the screen is another way you can hit the like button. Support the channel. Support the channel. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
A man is in jail tonight charged with murder after police say he caused a deadly wrong-way crash while fleeing from officers. That crash happened Saturday in Dallas at 35E and Inwood Road. Fox 4's Amelia Jones talked with 2 witnesses. Amelia live tonight at the Dallas County Jail where that suspect is in custody. Amelia.
Heather, one witness I spoke to said the crash could have been much worse. While that man was waiting at a red light, he saw the suspect miss 4 or 5 other cars before he collided head-on with a vehicle heading off the highway.
Car parts litter the side of the Inwood Road exit off I-35 East in Dallas. Remnants of a fatal crash on Saturday. On his drive home from work, Trent Wills was sitting at a red light at the intersection of Inwood Road and North Stemmons Freeway.
And the next thing I know, I just seen this black SUV just fly by, going actually the wrong way.
Wills says the SUV missed several other cars before it crashed head-on with a vehicle coming off I-35.
It was loud, but I just remember seeing debris flying and stuff like that. And his back of his vehicle just raising up and just swerving a little bit. That's all I remember.
When his light turned green, he saw the car that was hit.
I just said a quick little prayer because that vehicle was torn up.
Police say the driver of the Audi, 36-year-old Joel Yacino Bergoglio, died. The suspect tried to run away, but police quickly caught him. He was identified as 35-year-old Devontae Weber. According to an arrest warrant obtained by Fox 4, this all started in Fort Worth. Police tried to stop Weber since the SUV he was driving was reported stolen. Police say he was armed and committed a robbery at an Albertsons in Burleson on Christmas Eve. When Weber didn't pull over for Fort Worth police, a chase started from Chisholm Trail Parkway to Dallas. Police say at one point, Weber was driving 120 miles per hour.
There's so many people out there that needs to be careful and needs to watch how they drive, because right here in Dallas, you never know.
Rashid Cruz was filling up his car at the gas station and saw the aftermath of the crash. He took these pictures and videos.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty shocking.
The arrest warrant says Weber lives in Las Vegas, but he told officers that he was from Chicago and he has a Chicago tattoo on his arm. Police say the SUV he was driving was reported stolen in Chicago.
No, that's wrong. You stole a vehicle. But you took somebody else's life, and you also, your life now.
Weber is currently being held here at the Dallas County Jail. He's facing multiple charges, including murder, evading arrest, causing death, unauthorized use of a vehicle, and unlawfully carrying a weapon. His bond is currently set at $310,000. Heather, back to you.
Amelia Jones, thank you.
Police in Plano.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Turn us up on the likes. What's up, Sugar? What's going down, Sugar?
It's New Year's Eve, and there will be a lot of people out on the roadways traveling to and from celebrations. And local law enforcement officers say they'll be out there too with additional units.
That's what I'm saying,
the
Sugar. They need to hit the like
The message
button.
is simple: don't drink and drive. Our Matt Doherty had a look at what they're doing. Matt.
They subscribing to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. They scared to hit the like button.
Last New Year's Eve, officers say tomorrow.
Let me find out y'all scared to double tap the screen to hit the like button, man. Come on, man. It's 100 people in here, man. Get us up to 100 likes. Double tap the screen, man. You ain't gotta be scared, man. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you. The like button is free. Double tap the screen to hit the like button. It's free. It don't cost a dime. Subscribe to the channel. Let's run these subscribers up and let's double tap the screen now. Read the comments. Drop a comment in the chat. Let us know you up in here so we can subscribe back to you. Everybody.
Tonight, they'll be out to do it again.
You're drunk driving, you're just going to be arrested.
Harris County Precinct 4 Constable's Office Captain Juan Flores says additional deputies will be put on the streets tomorrow night, pulling over drivers.
We'll be looking for aggressive drivers, for speeders. In those, we will have a drunk driving incidents where I'm sure we're going to be making up several arrests on drunk driving.
Last year, state troopers made 128 DWI arrests on New Year's. Other agencies across the state made a total of 1,105 arrests. Captain Flores says he's seen the number of drunk drivers fluctuate over the years, but says with the proliferation of ride shares, there's no excuse for driving on the roads when you've had too much to drink. For those who do, he says more officers will be out to stop them from hurting themselves or somebody else.
The only way you can do that is by putting boots on the ground to target these drunk drivers, these aggressive drivers, to, put a dent or put a stop to it, try to put a stop to it.
Now, the Precinct 4 Constable's Office is among one of many local law enforcement agencies that have already committed to putting more forces out on the streets this New Year's Eve. Reka.
Thank you, Matt. And as law enforcement is saying, no excuses. It's always important to take personal responsibility. Call an Uber, Lyft, or taxi to get home, or designate a sober driver at your party. But it's equally important to protect your friends and loved ones by taking away their car keys if they are intoxicated.
Yeah, Sugar, I don't know what's wrong with the people, man. They don't want to tap the motherfucking like button for nothing, man. Yeah, I'm like, damn, what's going on over here? Appreciate your sugar coming through, man. We taking a quick commercial break real quick, man. We need y'all to double tap the screen, man. Hit the like button. The like button is free. It don't cost you nothing. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. It don't cost you nothing, goddammit. Right now at the moment. Yeah, right now at the moment it's free. Subscribe and hit the like button, goddammit. Yeah, y'all should be worrying about it when a nigga start charging you. A nigga ain't charging you right now. It's free to hit the like button. It's free to subscribe, y'all. Let's run this shit up.
First tonight, a Harris County fireworks stand is scrambling to get ready for New Year's Eve. Overnight, thieves were caught on camera driving away from the stand with nearly $10,000 worth of products. It all happened along East Anderson Road in South Harris County. And our Stephen Goen is there now with the details. Stephen, how's that owner feeling tonight?
Reka, the owner, is upset, understandably. He's been doing this for 5 years and said he's never had a break-in until now. Take a look. You can see chipped paint, signs of forced entry on the door. The owner says that he is just devastated tonight. Tonight, just hours away from New Year's Eve, this fireworks stand along East Anderson Road still in short supply after what took place.
So many emotions, you know, you're mad, you're sad.
The owner here, who did not want to be identified, says burglars broke in and took most of his big-ticket items. The top shelf stuff, he says, gone just like that.
For these guys to come take all your profit, like in 30 minutes, they come in here and they take all your, what you earn, 6-7 months saving, they come and take it in 30 minutes.
It happened Sunday, just after 1:45 a.m. The burglars leaving the doors here wide open. The owner tells us he got a call from the gas station next door.
I rushed over here, and when I came, sure enough, the door was open, they opened it with a crowbar.
This is surveillance video from the nearby gas station. At first, that black truck hops the curb. Then you can see two people get out of that silver car before it drives away. A few minutes later, it looks like the car's back for some of the loot. The black truck drives away with the rest. All in all, we're told the thieves got away with nearly $10,000 worth of inventory.
They left, all the little sparklers, the little stuff that cost, a couple dollars, So they knew what they were doing. I mean, they knew the value of the fireworks.
Tonight, it's a setback this fireworks stand was not expecting. Still, the owner here says he plans to open up for New Year's and hopes to break even, at the very least.
We're not gonna give up. We're gonna restock. We're gonna restock for Tuesday. We're gonna go buy some tonight. Try to sell the little bit we got left.
Now the owner said.
Tonight, a woman found dead in a burning storage unit in Kentwood had been locked inside for hours with no way of escaping. Now, another woman is facing charges in the death, including unlawful imprisonment. Target 8 investigator Ken Kolker has those details.
There was no way for firefighters to know that a woman was padlocked inside the burning storage unit here in Kentwood. Locked inside for more than 10 hours, the door padlocked from the outside, according to court records. With no working cell phone, no way to communicate. Then the fire broke out late at night on November 7th at Broadmoor Self-Storage. Firefighters said they noticed that Unit 454 was padlocked from the outside when they arrived to smoke and flames. They cut open the lock, then discovered the victim's body inside.
53, we have a body. 53, you report you have a body? Back affirmative.
The victim was identified as 33-year-old Corinne Abosamra, originally from the Ann Arbor area. Kentwood police quickly identified the woman who had rented the unit for her daughter. That daughter, 32-year-old Morgan Wingeyer, is charged in Kentwood District Court with manslaughter and unlawful imprisonment. Police say surveillance video shows Wingeyer locking the unit, then leaving with her mother shortly after noon on November 7th. She told detectives that her mom had questioned her earlier about leaving the unit unlocked, and that she didn't want her mom to know that Abosamra was inside. So she told police she locked the victim in. She told detectives she planned to return in a couple hours to unlock the unit, but, quote, things she was doing took longer than she expected. The suspect's mom says the victim was her daughter's ex-girlfriend. She says she has since learned that the victim was homeless and that her daughter had allowed her to stay in the storage unit. The suspect was convicted last year of using meth. Firefighters have said they had not determined how the fire started. The suspect is being held on a $50,000 bond at the Kent County Jail. She's expected back in court later this week. In Kentwood, I'm targeting investigator Ken Kolker.
Damn, there's people out here living in storage units for real, man. Damn, that's crazy, man. There's people out here living in storage units for real, man. Yeah, that's wild.
Mobile police are searching for who witnesses say threw 2 puppies from the Dog River Bridge. As WKRG News 5's Catherine Brook reports, the people who saw it wasted no time jumping into action, and the dogs are now safe.
2 small puppies thrown from the Dog River Bridge into the chilly water below. People who saw the dogs struggling in the water couldn't believe what happened.
If anybody has any clue who did this, we need to know, because this is ridiculous. If they'll do that to 2 dogs, they'll do it to the kids or anything else.
Wade Lynch was at the river shack along Dog River on Saturday. Lynch says that witnesses on the back deck saw the dogs thrown off a ledge on the bridge. People immediately went out in kayaks to save them.
There was a bunch of people on the back deck back here that saw the dogs being thrown off the bridge. We actually had a kayak, a guy in a kayak go over there and try to catch them, but they couldn't catch the dogs. The first one hit the water. He swam to the bank immediately. The second one hit the water and was swimming back and forth.
Other witnesses say the driver of a black SUV stopped on the bridge, turned on hazard lights, and threw the puppies into the river. Officials say from the top of the bridge to the bottom of the water is approximately 75 feet. Thanks to the work of Mobile Police Department and Daphne Search and Rescue, the 2 puppies were safely recovered. Corporal Paul Lee with MPD Homeland Security was one of the men who helped rescue the puppies.
It's just trying to get over there on scene so we can actually hopefully help the dogs and rescue the dogs, so make sure they were safe, and then we can continue our investigation after the hand. So initially it's just getting on scene and helping out where we can and getting the job done.
After the rescue, the puppies were initially placed in the care of Animal Services, then later moved to a foster home.
A lot of dogs in the area, if people who find that they can no longer house a dog, we encourage them to contact City Mobile Animal Services where they can relinquish the dog to them or the county.
MPD says that the suspect will face animal cruelty charges, which could be a felony charge in the state of Alabama. In Mobile, Catherine Brook, WKRG News 5.
An update following the tragic discovery of a missing woman from Escambia County, Florida, found dead in Mobile yesterday. WKRG News 5's Hannah O'Gara spoke with Sheriff Chip Simmons today about why officers were able to quickly focus their investigation on an active duty Marine station at NAS Pensacola and make an arrest.
First having been reported missing on December 13th, Tashay Bennett's disappearance came to a tragic ending on Wednesday when officials recovered her body near Cardinal and Eagle Drives in Mobile's Birdville community. Her death has been connected to Willie Ellington, an active duty Marine with NAS Pensacola, who was arrested Wednesday afternoon.
It's a heck of a case. It's disturbing. It's chilling to some of the stuff that we found out during the course of the investigation.
Bennett's last known location was Sweet Dream Inn on Plantation Road in Pensacola. Authorities say she was working as an escort when she met Ellington there. Escambia County Sheriff Chip Simmons says when officials arrived at the inn, something felt wrong.
We get the call and working with the folks at the hotel find that the door was left ajar, that the victim's car was left in the parking lot, that the victim's phones were still in the hotel room.
The Escambia County Sheriff's Office obtained Ellington's phone through a search warrant and were unsettled at the suspect's web search records.
Things like what does a dead body look like after 2 days? How many prostitutes murders go unsolved in a particular time period? If someone's strangled, can they talk? Can they yell? Can they scream?
Sheriff Simmons says based off these web searches, the Sheriff's Office concluded there was clear intent by the suspect to harm Bennett. Deputies say evidence found in the suspect's phone led them to the location of Bennett's body in Mobile. They also learned Ellington was leaving the area on a bus stopping in Opelika. Deputies tipped off authorities in Lee County, Alabama, and they were able to make the arrest. He faces more than a first-degree murder charge.
We also found child pornography on the phone, so he's going to be charged with that as well.
Ellington is currently in custody in Opelika, Alabama, and will be
subscribe
extradited
to the
Yancey
channel.
County,
Subscribe to the
Florida.
channel, y'all.
Hannah O'Gara, WKRG News 5.
Online phones for weeks, all because of copper thieves.
There's a new state law, though, that goes into effect January 1st. That's Wednesday. And this is supposed to try to stop the crime by requiring a license for copper wire recycling. Joe Mason takes a look at this issue.
There's one, and there's another. Come on, you and I both know lights around St. Paul are targets of copper thieves.
Well, you can see the bottom of the lights are broken out and the wire is missing. They've been torn out for years.
And it's not only lights, it's also phones. Several viewers have emailed us saying their landlines don't work because of copper thieves.
So that means that you can't call 911 from a landline in that situation.
St. Paul Public Works Director Sean Kershaw knows all about it.
We're now learning that they're taking phone lines, and so the landlines in several neighborhoods in St. Paul are down.
CenturyLink even sent us the statement saying, in part, these crimes have severely hampered our ability to restore service due to the extensive damage caused during the theft. In some instances, we have repaired service only to be the victim of copper theft again in the same location.
The thieves will take any type of wire that they think has copper in it.
Now a new state law that starts on January 1st aims to stop the crime by requiring a license for copper wire recycling.
If they have to have a license to sell that, we think that they'll be less likely to steal it and that scrapyards will be less likely to purchase the stolen copper.
And remember, the people who don't have working landlines, well, they're usually older.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all.
Very angry. It's terrible. It's terrible, especially because it's the elderly that are being targeted.
The good old days weren't always good, but back then, you didn't have to worry about phones or lights working because of copper thieves. Joe Mason, 5 Eyewitness News.
And earlier this month, AT&T, the phone company, announced plans to phase out their landline phone network by 2029. The plan is actually to retire the old copper wire infrastructure that supports the landlines and then continue to expand their fiber networks.
And you know, Leah, that new copper wire sales law that Joe mentioned?
BN is at Edina police are right now going through cell phone videos to try and identify a group of teens that attacked an Edina High School student at the YMCA last week.
Ryan Rage joins us with new details on the investigation and an update from the victim's aunt. Right.
Yeah, guys, I talked to the aunt of a 16-year-old Elroy Bien. He's a junior at Edina High School. The family was meeting with police today to try to help in this investigation, but they want to get the word out about the violent attack as they, too, search for answers.
We all family are broken and crying.
The family of Edina High School student Elroy Bien is at a loss tonight as to why a group of teens attacked him at this YMCA last week.
We have zero idea. He never involved in this kind of issue. That's why we really wanted to know what is going on and why this has happened. We want to know more.
The victim's aunt telling 5 Eyewitness News Bien suffered a concussion, multiple bruises, and a week later is still struggling to eat. According to the search warrant, Edina police responded shortly after 6 o'clock Friday
to the channel
to
if you
report
haven't
a large
subscribed
group
to
of
the
juvenile Somalian males fighting. Investigators wrote someone led approximately 13 males inside the back door of the YMCA before attacking the victim. Police say they ran off before officers arrived.
Many people came in at once. So amazing. We never expect this where the facility we trust, we leave our kids.
The YMCA responding tonight that it has already taken additional steps to secure the back area that was used to allow others to enter. Records indicate the attack was not caught on surveillance video, but a judge just gave the green light to police to review iPhone videos of the attack on at least 3 different phones.
It's really a bad situation now. We're not happy about it.
Now, the victim's family says he is now recovering at home, and they're thankful for the love and support received from the community. They're hopeful there will be no long-term damage. Now, in the search warrant, police said all the people involved are students at Edina High School, but no arrests have been
Subscribe
made.
to the channel.
Keep us updated,
Subscribe to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button, y'all.
All right,
The
perfect.
frame, I ain't messing on no frame.
Good.
You see what you got. Go. Oh man, I ain't shaved out. You caught me
Good.
off.
You
No,
good?
I ain't ready.
No.
You
Stay
catch
right
that
there.
dry shave.
No. Got you. Stay right there. All right, look at me. I got this. Say your first and last name, please.
Trevor Pipkin.
You don't have to
I gotta move
lean
okay.
into it.
Oh, yeah,
Could you spell those for me?
Trevor Pipkin, TREVORPIPKIN.
All right, sir. Tell me, what happened out here?
Man, I actually left my house 15 minutes before it happened, and I got a text from somebody about some weather stuff. I'm like, man, you girl, you ain't my mom. Leave me alone. Swiped up. 10 minutes later, my neighbor across the street. Yo, you got to get home. Tornado, your house on the ground, destroyed. Our roof ripped off. Homeboy across the street, trucks in his house, his RVs in the back of his house. It's going wild, you know what I'm saying?
Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel.
Lost their lives. Condolences to all of them. And but it's bad, man.
Happened all of a sudden, bro. I mean, what do you think about it?
Ain't nothing to think except, man, wait for the comeback. Wait for our comeback. That's all I'm gonna say.
And speaking of the comeback, I mean, how's the community gotten together to?
Man, it's been amazing. I appreciate everybody that's came out, helped. Everybody's came together really nice. Even if we've had our differences, everybody's always. It really shows how good of a community it is and how local and tight knit it really is.
How surprising was all of this, man?
Man, all of a sudden, dude, I was in my house getting ready to go fishing. I took one of my trucks. I should have took my other truck. But then the other one got messed up. Whatever, it's all good. But I was thinking not trying to break my stuff, and then it's just like a normal windy day. You know what I mean? Normal windy day at my house. Then all this boom. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, all of a sudden, I mean, 15 minutes before, do you feel like you were in fear for your life if you hadn't left 15 minutes before?
I wouldn't have been standing here to talk to you, boss man, if you wouldn't have seen it in there. I'm gonna be honest with you, but it's all good. I'm here standing here with you now.
What all happened to your house?
It's basically donezo. The whole roof, you walk over, roof ripped out, my whole shed, everything in my shed's gone. Blew my whole trucks, busted windows out, whole inside, you just...
Subscribe to the channel,
news out
y'all.
of the Inland Empire.
Subscribe to the
Deputies
channel.
need your help to identify this man that's caught on camera. He's seen walking up to a home and then pulling out a gun moments before opening fire. NBC4's Christian Cáceres is live in Victorville with more on what happened that has one family on edge. Christian.
That's right, Annabelle. I can tell you that family is still very shaken up. The Darling family, they tell me that they are thankful that no one was hurt, but they tell me they had just finished opening presents on Christmas Eve, and they were just getting ready to call it a night. That's when they say someone walked up to their front door, pulled out a gun, and shots were fired.
I gotta stay calm for the family. I gotta stay calm and strong. Everybody else is, their anxiety is high.
Jason Darling is talking about this moment on Christmas Day that has his family and the entire neighborhood on edge.
Approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, the kids came in and said someone is ringing the doorbell.
Darling says he checked his security camera and saw this man near the front door.
The guy turned around and came back to our door and flashed a gun, looked like a 9mm. And right away I picked up my phone, called 911, and set off my car alarm. Try to wake up the neighbors, bring some attention to the front of our house. There's 3 bullet holes.
The masked man opened fire at the family car, according to Darling, before he got away.
One straight into the engine and one into the radiator.
San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department did confirm they are searching for the armed man as an investigation is underway. Neighbors, too upset to speak on camera, say they are being extra vigilant day and night, but the Darlings say nothing will calm their nerves until an arrest is made.
It seemed like he had a problem with somebody. He was upset about something, and we are unsure of what. It could be the wrong house, it could be the wrong neighborhood.
Well, Darling says that his family, including his children, were right by that front door when this happened,
Subscribe
which is why
to the
they're
channel,
shaken up.
y'all.
But again, he
Subscribe
says
to the
thankfully
channel.
no one was hurt. Now, because there was no exchangement of words, they say it's unclear what that man's motive was, but that has sparked a community watch group that is very active tonight, and tonight that family is speaking out, sharing their story, hoping that someone out there can help identify this person. From Victorville, Christian Cáceres, NBC4 News.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button, y'all. Turn us up on the likes. Turn us up on the likes. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel.
Layworth Shopping Mall is a big crime scene tonight after at least 2 people were shot near a Target store. NBC4's Darsha Phillips is live at the mall on 7th and Figueroa. Darsha.
Kathy, one witness telling us that he heard at least 8 shots fired in what was a very busy shopping center behind me. Now, it's not clear if these shots were fired inside or outside of the Target store, but it happened just before 9 p.m. tonight, and you can see several officers still investigating, a lot of them inside the Target store. Now, we do have cell phone footage from one witness of a victim being worked on by paramedics. They're desperately working on one of those victims. LAPD says the victims were both men, one possibly a security guard. LAPD says both were transported to hospitals and that one of those victims was not conscious and not breathing at the time he was transported. And we are learning from LAPD just moments ago that telling us that those victims are in stable and critical condition at the hospital. Now, I do want to mention at 9 p.m., this shopping center was packed with people. We spoke to 2 witnesses, one who was inside the Gold's Gym downstairs. The other had just left the Target store seconds before the gunfire erupted. They have the accounts of the terror and the panic as everyone tried to run or take cover. Take a listen.
I was just walking out of the door about 10 seconds before the shots went off.
Everybody was panicking, yelling. It's like, you know, run to the back, run to the back.
By the time I got to the staircase, you just heard 2 shots go off. Everybody was kind of, you think it's a firework, you don't assume the worst immediately. And then there's like 6 more shots pretty quickly.
My first thought was that this is a shooting, you know, it's a massacre of some sort. So I ran out to the exit on the side.
Nobody really looked back because we could hear kind of bullets whisking by us. We just started running up the stairs.
There was big buff dudes, you know, in the gym just, you know, taking off and running.
The main thing I remember is like there was a little girl next to me and just seeing her family like pick her up and run off. Something that can just be a normal night before New Year's turns into like something totally different in a split second.
Now, back here live, here's another look at the investigation and the crime scene here. A lot of that investigation right now taking part inside the Target store. Now, police are still searching for the gunman. He is described as a white man with curly hair, wearing a black shirt, gray sweatpants.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button.
Now at 5:30, an investigation is underway into the murder of a 17-year-old girl. She was shot and killed at a party in Signal Hill over the weekend. Several other teenagers were also wounded. The shooter so far has not been caught.
And now, for the first time, we're hearing from the family of the girl who was killed. NBC4's Macy Jenkins is live in Signal Hill with the story and new pictures of the victim. Macy.
Hi, Kathy and Annabelle. Well, yes, 7 teens were shot at that party. The 17-year-old girl who did not survive, her family is now mourning the loss of that girl, and they want answers about what happened.
You can run, but you can't hide. Trust me.
A grandmother both furious and heartbroken over the death of her 17-year-old granddaughter, Amari, shot and killed outside of a party on Burnett Street in Signal Hill on Saturday night.
You know, we're going to pray for you. Because you killed my grandbaby! You killed my grandbaby! You killed my grandbaby!
The teen, one of 7 people shot around 10:15 p.m., according to LA County Sheriff's Department. Watch this video captured by a Ring camera across the street, shared exclusively with NBC4 and our sister station, Telemundo 52.
Help! Help! Please, they're shooting! Please, help!
You can see a young woman with blood on her chest, frantically ringing the door and looking around for anyone on the property. Homeowner Maria Molina was inside, terrified to open the door after hearing several shots followed by the commotion outside. Her son told me over the phone he tried calling 911, but the call wouldn't go through.
Very panic. Me, I stay in panic.
Molina says Signal Hill police arrived a few minutes later, followed by LA County Sheriff's deputies. Investigators say 4 women and 3 men were shot, all between 17 and 19 years old. Amari was taken to a nearby hospital where she died. The 6 others suffered non-life-threatening gunshot wounds.
Do you have any idea what she was doing here? Just invited to a party. She was invited to a party. She's not a trouble kid. She has a good family. She comes from a good family.
Neighbors say this building is well known for hosting weekend parties.
But every Saturday I watch too many girls and boys and everything.
Para las fiestas. Cada sábado?
Yes, every Saturday.
Amari's grandmother, Marion Warren, says she was a smart girl and the baby of the family, along with her 17-year-old twin brother, now devastated to go on without his sister.
She was getting ready to go to college. She had letters, different letters coming to her for different colleges to go to. Oh, God. And we just, want the people who did this to my niece. God will prevail. He always do. He will. So we pray for your family too.
Warren says Amari and her twin brother were excited to turn 18. They were planning to celebrate together. Their birthday falls just 3 weeks after the day of the shooting. Reporting live in Signal Hill, Macy Jenkins, NBC4 News.
D-Wayne, what's up now? What's up, D-Wayne?
Many purchases during the holidays. Getting a card declined message when you go to pay for something online might not surprise you, but the Better Business Bureau says this could be a scam. Here's Fox 23 evening anchor Shay Razi with this week's Scam Alert.
During the holidays, we are spending so much. We're dining out more, we're buying all these gifts, and so it might not be that shocking if you do get your card declined or you hear that or see that on the screen, but it's not always the case. This could be a scam.
This is a new twist. We haven't seen this before. So it's interesting. You go on a website, you purchase something, and all of a sudden, oops, we're declined. Okay, it's holiday season. Maybe we overdrew the bank. Understood. But consumers are then going and checking their bank and going, okay, there's no reason this should be declined. Maybe try to purchase it again, still declined. So they move on, right? In a couple of days, what happens is a transaction way higher than what you were trying to purchase on that website goes through on your credit card.
That's crazy that the charge can be much higher than what you even thought you were buying or paying for.
Right, yeah.
Amy Mitchell, CEO of the Better Business Bureau of Eastern Oklahoma, says this scam is another reason it's so important to track your spending. Check your credit card transactions through the card company's website or app, and do the same with your bank card transactions. Always make sure you're charged what you know you paid for something. And in this case, if the card truly is declined, there should be no charge at all. If a transaction did go through that you think is a scam, try to take care of it right away.
If you find a discrepancy, what should you do?
You can first contact your credit card company.
My visits to the joint help me avoid pulling my back and neck. Now, if only they'd help me avoid pulling my...
He was a son, a dad, a loved one. Family and friends are honoring a man shot to death last weekend in the heart of Cleveland's downtown. 2 teens are now sitting in jail for the murder. His girlfriend opening up to our Michelle Nix. She has the emotional conversation new tonight.
A memorial for a young man now forever 25, shot and killed in the heart of Cleveland's downtown. A loved one says he will be remembered for his big heart.
He loved his son. His son was 2. He loved his mom. He loved everybody. Like, everybody loved Hakeem. To know Hakeem was to love Hakeem.
Tavon McPherson, also known as Hakeem, died inside DP Dough, an eatery just feet from Cleveland's public square. His girlfriend, Devasia Barford Hutchins, now determined to keep his memory alive, tells me he took his last breath in her arms.
He was shot twice in his chest from the side and once in his head. And I just did everything I could to make sure my boyfriend was alive. And he died in my arms. He said his last words.
The fatal confrontation and shooting happened during the early morning hours on Saturday, December 21st.
They were arguing because the boy disrespected me in front of my boyfriend.
Barford Hutchins was a manager at DP Dough that night and says an altercation between a teenage employee And her 25-year-old boyfriend, who wasn't working but stopped in that night, quickly escalated from words to gunfire.
And I was screaming until a nurse practitioner and her husband did help. And I just want to say thank you, whoever you was, because they did help me.
2 suspects were arrested.
Subscribe
Brothers
to
who
the
are just
channel, y'all.
17
Subscribe
and
to
18
the
years
channel.
old. Cleveland police are investigating to determine if charges will be filed.
People quick to pull out a gun. Like, no, sometimes we need to walk away. Black people always just want to kill each other and hurt each other instead of walking away.
But the sad reality is, 1 life has ended, 2 forever changed, and families and loved ones forced to pick up the pieces as they wait for justice and hold on to memories of what could have been.
That was my soulmate. That was my person.
Reporting in downtown Cleveland, Michelle Nix, 19 News.
Mexico. 6:04 is your time now, and we've learned that a 14-year-old boy from Chicago is fighting for his life after a deadly shooting in Durango, Mexico. He was there to celebrate his birthday when gunmen attacked his family, killing his father, his uncle, and a cousin.
Jorge de Santiago from our sister station Telemundo Chicago spoke to his family, and they are demanding answers and justice.
This was supposed to be a birthday celebration. Instead, it turned into a shooting that left 3 dead and a teenager critically injured. Now the family is pleading for help to bring the 14-year-old back to for urgent medical care.
He's just a kid. I don't think whoever it was that they did that to them, I don't think they knew that he was a kid. I know he looks really grown for his age and everything, but to the point to be killing a kid.
Authorities in Durango, Mexico say the bodies of 3 men were found late Friday along the Francisco Zarco Highway near the town of Las Palmas in Santiago Papasquiaro. The victims were identified by family members as Vicente Peña Jr., 38-year-old, Antonio Tony Fernandez, 44-year-old, both from Chicago. A third victim, 22-year-old, Jorge Eduardo Vargas Aguirre, was also killed.
So Tony is a very instrumental piece of local talent entertainment here in the area of Chicago at a local and a national level.
The 14-year-old boy who was celebrating his birthday was critically injured in the shooting and is now in a Mexican hospital. His grandmother and aunt say they are desperate to bring him back to Chicago for life-saving treatment.
They just found him on the road. That they were at a party. I know they were at a party. I know my nephew recorded a video that they were at a party.
The U.S. State Department had already issued a travel warning for Durango, urging exercise increased caution due to crime. Officials say the group was traveling in a GMC SUV with Illinois plates when they were attacked. The bodies have been sent to the medical examiner for autopsies, but so far, no suspects have been named and few details have been released.
This is really unexpected to happen, and we just want justice for our family.
Family members from Chicago are now in Mexico demanding answers and justice for their loved ones. The nonprofit United Giving Hope is working with the family to bring the injured teen back to the U.S. for proper medical care. We reached out to the U.S. State Department for comment, but have yet to receive a response. Jorge de Santiago, NBC5 News.
We want to update you now. The developing story in South Suburban Park Forest. Police there say 2 women were found dead inside a home. Officers called to that home at the 300 block of Miami Drive last night. Just today, we've learned the pair were a mother and daughter. NBC5's V. Wynn reports.
Investigators returning to this Park Forest neighborhood trying to track down witnesses 1 day after 2 women were found shot inside the suburban home. Neighbors left stunned by what happened.
This block is normally not no violence or any type of domestic or any type of craziness, so it was just a different scene.
This man who lives right across the street didn't want to be identified, fearing for his safety. Says he didn't hear the gunshots last night, but saw the police activity.
I just seen them kind of like use the little battery thing to knock down the door, and they entered the home through the window and opened up, and I saw a woman come out on the ambulance.
According to Park Forest police, officers responded to a call of someone shot last night inside this home in the 300 block of Miami Street. Cell phone video shared with NBC5 shows the response. Officers made their way in and found 2 women shot. One of them died at the scene, the other pronounced at the hospital. Neighbors say they were mother and daughter.
I still can't believe, she gone and her daughter, and it's senseless because that shouldn't happen.
The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office identified the victims as 30-year-old Sabrina McCain and 51-year-old Lillian Brown. We learned 2 children were also found unharmed inside the home. This young girl, with permission from her mom, told us she would often play with the young boy, believed to be 8 or 9 years old.
I just feel bad for him.
It's unclear who made the 911 call. This neighbor says he saw the 51-year-old victim just yesterday morning.
She's normally quiet lady, always tended to her yard.
While police continue to investigate the motive, neighbors are praying for the families of the victims and the young children caught in the middle of the violence.
My prayers go out for the kids, and I hope everything transpired in their world to be, a little bit better than what they witnessed.
Investigators are calling this an isolated incident and say there's no threat to the public.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Double tap the screen and hit the like button.
NBC5 News.
Double tap the screen to hit the like button, y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed
Tonight, a
to the
family
channel.
is grieving the loss of 2 men who were killed in a stabbing on Sunday morning. Our Anna Chalker joins us in studio tonight. She's been talking with the family today. Anna?
Well, Scott, they told me they actually just buried another loved one on Sunday who was shot and killed just a couple weeks ago. So really a heartbreaking situation. And they cannot believe that they have to do this again. 2 more funerals so soon.
Even though Tyler Amos and TJ Walker are cousins, families say they loved each other like brothers.
Both of them were loving and caring young men, and they were definitely family guys as well.
The 2 would always be together. That's why Carlton Amos says it's hard knowing they died at the same time.
I'm not, happy that they died together. I'm not happy that they died, period. You know what I mean? But it's just like, that's just who we are. We always try to make sure that we're good,
Around 2:30 Sunday morning, police say a fight broke out inside the Havana Sports Lounge on North High School Road. Amos says at some point, the 2 called another family member to pick them up because they didn't feel safe.
To the page.
When that family member got there, Amos says he saw that the 2 had been stabbed by someone else and rushed them to Escalante Hospital.
And I can
end this live with a successful day.
Let me hurry up and take them there.
Both later died.
13 people
Amos
subscribe to
they
the
were
channel.
Just getting their lives
Come on,
started.
y'all. Turn us up. Turn us up. Turn us
what
up.
the future holds for Bruiser. We can't see the better that TJ said that he was wanting to be because someone took it. You took it from our family.
As police search for the person who did this, the family asks,
if you were in our situation, what would you want that person to do?
This is
if the tables were turned on you?
whatever that shit is.
a question this family hopes is answered soon by someone coming forward.
Now, the police and family both urge anyone with information, or even if you were at that lounge at the time of the stabbing, to reach out to IMPD.
And hopefully our viewers will do just that.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Subscribe to the channel.
Now in a Euclid man sentenced to 7 years behind bars.
13 people to subscribe to the channel.
19 investigator Kelly Kennedy covered this story when it first happened more than a year ago. Tonight, she has the latest.
12 more people.
It's been more than a year now since this business was set on fire. And the Paragon Bar and Restaurant here in Euclid.
Hey, I need 12 people to subscribe to the channel. And I need at least 50 people to hit the like button, y'all. Come on now. Subscribe to the channel. I need 12 people to subscribe to the channel, and I need at least 50 people to hit the like button. Can we get that going on, man? We ain't gonna start the video back, man, until we get some likes, man. Turn us up on the likes and we ain't starting the video back, man. Yeah. Well, shit, I'm about to go on end this live then, man, since y'all don't want to hit the motherfucking like button.
Is still shut down. But the owner tells me despite the financial struggles, she's just grateful that the man who did this is finally behind bars. You're looking at the aftermath of Paragon Bar after it was set on fire in September of 2023. At first, owner Jackie Morer wasn't sure what to think.
Originally, everyone thought it could have been the kitchen where the fire originally had started, but they also had mentioned that there were suspicious individuals.
Hit the like
But
button.
the fire wasn't an accident.
If you like boudin,
it was arson.
Hit the like button. If you like chocolate milk, hit the like button.
Everyone had left for the evening, and within 20 minutes, the place
Subscribe
was
to the channel, y'all. Subscribe to the channel. We need 12 more subscribers to be at 1,300.
Aggravated arson and vandalism. And a judge sentenced him to 7 years in prison. Morer says Triplett came into her bar the night of the fire.
Just kind of sitting around, so he was asked to leave because he wasn't purchasing anything.
It took police 6 months to arrest him. Strongsville police arrested him first for stealing a Jeep, and he also had a stolen gun on him. He pled guilty to those charges too. These weren't the first crimes he committed, though. I discovered that at just 11 years old, Triplett was convicted in
Hey, I need 12 people to subscribe to the channel so I can get to 1,300, man. I need 12 people to subscribe to the channel so I can get to 1,300. Don't be no motherfucking hater.
juvenile court for a felony sex crime. It turns out the recovery has been worse than Morer thought it would be. She says there's close to $500,000 in damage, and they had to gut the entire restaurant. Morer tells me she's hoping to have Paragon back open by this summer. She tells me she's really thankful for the other businesses here in Euclid who have stepped up and hired some of her employees. She says she was also able to hire some of her employees from this restaurant at her restaurant in downtown Cleveland. Reporting in Euclid, I'm Kelly Kennedy, 19 News.
Jellyfish is
Subscribe
permanent
to
lighting
the
so
channel
good
if you
it
haven't
should be on the
subscribed
night
to the
list.
channel. Turn us up on the subscribers.
Police hope you can help catch the thief who keeps dipping into someone else's account. Take a good look at these surveillance pictures from 2 Huntington Bank branches in Cleveland. The suspect used a paper identification with their own photo on it, but the account information for a Summit County victim. So far, they've gotten away with over $25,000. So if you know who this is, give the Summit County Sheriff's Office a call.
Man, we don't know who that is. We ain't no snitches over here. We don't know who that is.
Our local police departments are warning
Subscribe
that
to the channel. I need 12 more subscribers to be at 1,300, man.
Officers calling you and demanding money. 19 Stephen Hernandez is here with what you need to know so that you don't become the next victim.
We'll have over 500 subscribers.
P-Tech's phone has been ringing off the hook.
In 5
the city
days.
Of Ridgeville, the latest in Lorain County to become a target of scammers.
All legit.
These thieves are calling you pretending to be police officers.
They'll tell people that they missed a court date and that they have to pay money, upwards to about $2,000.
Captain P-Tech was first tipped on the scam on Sunday when 2 people came into the station about calls they received demanding money.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all.
The news on Facebook.
Turn us up on
15
subscribers.
more people came forward, all claiming to get the same type of call.
It surprises me that in that short term or short amount of time that
These scammers will do everything they can to try and trick you and your neighbors. For example, here in North Ridgeville, they took advantage of the fact that the police department recently changed their phone numbers.
Probably want a cracker.
Was from our old non-emergency
Subscribe
number.
to the motherfucking channel.
Move to our new location.
All right, man, we need 11 more people, man, to hit that subscribe button. And after you hit that subscribe button, hit all
Reach out to
notifications.
police to see if the phone call was legit. You should also remember what police don't do.
We're never going to call you and tell you that you have a warrant and that if you don't pay over the phone, that you'll be arrested.
Police are still looking into the scam spree. And if the person behind the calls gets caught, they'll be facing serious charges. For now, the most important advice for everyone is
just be smart. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true.
In Northridge.
Subscribe to the channel.
A
Subscribe to
mother's
the channel.
anguish. A garage on the south side goes up in flames, and then a grim discovery.
WGN's Andrea Medina has details on this one.
Yesterday, I came over here and discovered my son here.
4 days after a fire on Christmas was extinguished and the scene was cleared from a garage behind an abandoned brick house in Roseland, Michelle Murray discovered the remains of her 34-year-old son.
I had called the fire department back to ask them to help with some of the debris because I feel like my son might still be under the debris, and he was.
But she says before his burned body was found days later in the rubble on the 9400 block of South LaSalle Street, she was assured he was not inside.
Police department and the fire department, and they again told me was no one there. You know, they just put out the fire, no one's there.
Murray was supposed to see her son Wesley Freeman on Christmas, but she says he neither showed up to her house nor called to say he wouldn't be coming. The following day, she learned about the fire from neighbors. When she contacted police and fire departments, she was told he wasn't there. Murray describes waiting several days, hoping he'd turn up. She says she called hospitals and even filed a missing person report, but she had a strong sense he was still back at the garage.
If you had checked in the beginning, was it, you know, when you put out the fire, you could still be here right now today, perhaps.
Murray says her son had been living in the garage for about 6 months. A fire department spokesperson stated that both the garage and the house were vacant. The spokesperson confirmed his remains were found days after the fire and expressed regret that he wasn't discovered when the fire was put out.
That's the thing that bothers me the most, because I was constantly calling them and they was constantly telling me wasn't no one there.
Wesley was Murray's oldest son, and she says she'll miss his laughter and his kind heart. She wants justice, but in the meantime, she hopes his death will provide a lesson so that another family doesn't have to endure the same heartache.
Anytime you put out a fire, you need to check to make sure no one's there.
Fire officials say they're deeply saddened by this tragedy and have begun an investigation. The exact cause of the fire is still unknown. Police also report that detectives are also investigating this incident. Now, a GoFundMe has been created to help cover Wesley's funeral arrangements. If you'd like to contribute, we'll have a link to that website on WGNTV.com.
I think when you're struggling as a single parent, shame just...
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button.
Information we're getting is coming from Mexican authorities. It doesn't appear the tunnel was in use yet, and although this tunnel was intended to take smugglers under the border wall, it was a pair of eyes in the sky that led police to this discovery.
Police in Mexico posted these photos on their Facebook page. They show police officers on the ground and a drone in the sky just south of the border wall. Then what looks like an ordinary ditch in the ground. But this, according to police, is the early stages of a new tunnel, one that would have eventually allowed smugglers to sneak people and drugs under the border into the U.S. And Mexican police say it was a drone that helped them spot the tunnel. According to the DEA's 2024 drug threat assessment, the Sinaloa drug cartel uses tunnels like these across the Southwest. Most of them are part of border cities' water and sewage systems, like this one in Nogales. But a small number are truly independent structures. Some have electricity and air vents. This is the third tunnel discovered near the Yuma area this year.
Now, we reached out to Yuma Border Patrol about this operation and...
Subscribe to the channel,
21-year-old
people.
George
Subscribe
Mosley
to the
indicted
channel.
on 14 counts of child sex trafficking and multiple other felonies. He's accused of recruiting a teen girl from Michigan and pimping her out for prostitution in Arizona. Police say Mosley formed the connection after messaging her on Instagram.
I hate to tell you, but I'm not surprised at anything you just told me.
Carrie Sparks is on the board of directors for the Star Bright Foundation, a nonprofit that helps rescue children being trafficked. She says social media,
Instagram is absolutely a big one,
and video game chat rooms are top targets for predators to recruit children.
It doesn't matter what the name of the game is, those games can be very, very dangerous, and that's where the predators swarm around the kids instantly. It's amazing how fast it can happen. But also social media platforms all over, yes, they're tracking them.
Sparks says traffickers may contact and spend time and energy to form a connection, even if it takes years.
These are professionals that are able to get between our kids' ears
Subscribe
and be
to
able
the
to find out
channel.
what their weakness is, and then they just go ahead and they maximize it. They do romance them. They do do their best to make them fall in love with them and give them something that they're not getting at home.
The problem, Sparks says, is that social media is always evolving, creating a moving target.
As soon as
Appreciate
we
y'all
find
hitting that
one,
like button.
there's another one
Subscribe to
popping
the
up
channel,
right behind
y'all.
it. So what we talk about today can be already old tomorrow.
She says parental app control settings are good options, but it's always best to have an open conversation with your children about the
My cashback rewards help me save money on school supplies. But you know who really needs the money more than me? Corporate megastores.
We've been saving up our airline miles to help pay.
Bids were coming in hot today as the state auctioned off more than 300 abandoned safety deposit boxes. News 4's Austin Brissett was there.
200 now, 2.5, 2.5, about 300.
Things move fast in an auction. The bids come in, and the price rises fast. If you hesitate,
Sold at $1,000, number 55.
you might miss your chance to participate. This crowd bidding on more than 300 abandoned safe deposit boxes from the state treasury.
It's just so intriguing and interesting.
Everything from watches to jewelry to coins and trading cards. After someone dies without a will or trust and no heirs are located, the boxes go to the state's unclaimed property division. When storage runs out, some are sold. And that's where Louis Dakel, the president of Dakel Auctioneers Inc., and their employees come in.
This is my 5th auction for the Treasury.
He's seen everything from a $1,000 bill to old Woodstock tickets. Others bidding for more specific things.
So just some old coins, old U.S. silver dollars.
Like William Pratt, a finance teacher and coin collector, which he uses for class.
The history tells so much about our country and other countries, how they've evolved, how they've fallen.
It's really pretty.
Others, like Cindy, are all about jewelry.
I hang on to it until the price goes up and then I sell it.
To each their own.
I like these $2 bill. I got a grandboy. He's saving those.
And may the highest bidder win. Austin Brissett, Oklahoma's News 4.
Lots of treasures to be found there. And while we don't know yet how much money the auction brought in, we do know many of the boxes went well into the thousands of dollars. The money from the sale.
We just opened the door to let our dog out, and it's cops everywhere. Yeah, and then we found out from a neighbor that a guy down the street had been shot 4 times.
Mesa police and court paperwork confirm on December 18th, Victor Garibay was sitting in the driver's seat of his truck outside his home in a trailer park near McKellips and Mesa Drive when a suspect tried to commit armed robbery and then shot him several times in broad daylight.
We're outside all the time.
Double tap the screen, y'all, to turn us up on the likes, man. Let's get to 100 likes. It's 100 people up in here. It's 3 white dots at the top, man. Click on them 3 white dots and you'll be able to hit the like button. Double tap the screen, you'll be able to hit the like button. It's 100 people in here. Let me get y'all to subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe to the channel, hit all notifications. Turn us up on the subscribers and turn us up on the likes, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Support the channel by hitting the like button and by subscribing to the channel.
The 5th and West condominiums in downtown Austin riddled with bullets Sunday night. On Monday, residents were sent out a statement from management explaining the gunfire.
I mean, it's a problem, and it's dangerous.
According to management, around 9 p.m. Sunday, the suspects drove down 5th Street, firing a gun at some of the buildings and shattering glass in one of them. The complex was hit by 6 shots. Bullets reached as high as the 5th floor, including a window in the southeast side of the lobby.
You're hearing these incidents all the time with increasing frequency.
Austin police were called out. When they arrived, they found several bullet casings. Police say Bob Hinojosa Jr. was found nearby, arrested and charged with deadly conduct and a felon in possession of a firearm. A second suspect, Christina Miranda, was also charged with deadly conduct and possession of a controlled substance.
It's surprising because fewer and fewer of these cases are resolved.
Mike Levy, a friend of one of the tenants, says there is a lack of police presence in the area.
It's not unusual. Anybody who monitors this kind of activity, I mean, you can talk to police officers, they'll tell you the same thing. It's increasing, this kind of activity, dangerous activity, is increasing, and you see it in a lot of ways in terms of kids doing inappropriate acts. If you drive around the city, you're seeing more and more graffiti. No different. These are crimes that are increasing because there's no police visibility.
Eggs make all our family moments better, especially when they're Eggland's Best. Taste so fresh and amazing, deliciously superior nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
People who are injured are expected to be okay. That's the good news. The bad news is the damage here is extensive. Much of the front of the restaurant is gone.
It began with a collision, which then sent a vehicle spinning into the restaurant, the moment terrifying to those inside.
I'm still a nervous wreck. My mind was blank. I wasn't even really thinking. I was like, basically in a state of shock.
Courtney Jackson was working in the kitchen of the Harold's Chicken at 92nd and Ashland when police say around 3:30 p.m. the 19-year-old female driver of this dark-colored SUV pulled out onto Ashland, hitting another SUV that was heading northbound.
We need 9 more people to subscribe, y'all. Let's get 9 more people to subscribe to the channel.
He said the impact was just so fast and so strong. He don't remember anything. The bricks did hit him in the back of his head.
I seen him laying on the floor. He looked like he could barely move. I think he was up against the window and it knocked him from the window up into the register.
That victim expected to be okay, as is the driver of the vehicle that crashed into the restaurant. He was also taken to a hospital. After the crash, video shows the driver of that dark SUV stopping for a few seconds, but then speeding off. Police say she was later located and arrested, and citations are pending. In the glow of holiday lights, the restaurant now in shambles. But there's relief. No one was hurt worse.
That's life.
Do you remember this alarming surveillance video? Police say the man caught on camera trying to sexually assault an employee at a smoke shop turned himself in. Steve Litz has been following the story since the very beginning, joining us live from Miami Springs, where it all happened. Tell us more about what now the victim is saying post-arrest.
Well, she's expressing a sense of relief now that this person is in custody. The crime happened inside this vape and smoke shop here in the heart of Miami Springs, and it all went according to plan for investigators. They released surveillance video from inside, hoping somebody would recognize the suspect and call in some sort of tip. Turns out the suspect saw himself on the news and surrendered to police. Search over. The man seen attacking a worker inside a smoke shop is now in jail.
Stay away from the alleged victim.
Tyrone Ambrister surrendered yesterday. According to police, he is the man who assaulted the store clerk, put a shirt over her face, and then touched her in inappropriate places.
I do feel safer in a sense. I am prepared if, hopefully not, but if I ever have to go through something like this, like I learned my lesson that I have to be more careful and have, something with me to protect myself.
The attack happened earlier this month as the store was closing right around midnight. The man faked he was shopping and then moved quickly, pulling the woman by her arms into the back room. Armbrister blames it on his alcohol consumption.
I made a mistake by drinking too much, and that's the part where I slipped up. I allowed something to be put in my drink, not paying attention.
But being honest, a person that does that, even if they're drunk or not, could do it anytime because it's a moral type of thing. It's not an alcohol.
In addition to releasing the surveillance video, police also captured a still picture of the suspect, and it shows a clear shot of his face. It aired on NBC6 News starting on Thursday of last week. Armbrister told us he got calls that he was on the news, then he saw it on his phone, and then he turned himself into police.
My sincere apology, and I hope that she's okay. And like I say, she's the main concern why I came back because, Someone has to take responsibility.
The suspect looks different in court compared to that surveillance video, and that is because he admitted to investigators that he changed his appearance. He shaved his beard and he cut his hair. He was considering leaving town. Live in Miami Springs tonight, I'm Steve Litz, NBC6 News.
Man, he
Roundup's
tripped
main
out.
change into saving stocks of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say on that one right there. Shit, he done tripped out. He shouldn't have never did that, man. Hey, we need 8 more people to subscribe to the channel. Can I get 8 people to subscribe to the channel? It seems like y'all don't want to hit that like,
assaulted 2 children.
One
is a 13-year-old who went missing and was found last week. A second dates back 25 years. Jason Kelvey is in the newsroom with the latest on this. Jason.
Hey, Mary, the defendant faces up to 100 years in prison. On Sunday, he made his first appearance in court. Prosecutors charged 37-year-old Antonio Randolph with repeatedly sexually assaulting 2 children.
Reading this complaint is almost hard to believe.
The first sexual assault allegation dates to last week.
The first one, the child is 13 years old, and you're 37.
A criminal complaint says Randolph met a runaway 13-year-old on November 18th at this gas station at 50th and Lisbon. Prosecutors say he sexually assaulted her in a nearby home. Then they say he confined the girl to his grandmother's basement on 95th Street, and he wouldn't let her call her parents. Prosecutors say the girl said no and stop multiple times. Then on November 20th, a family friend spotted the girl with the man at the same gas station where prosecutors say they met. Family members then fought Randolph with video streamed online. That's when prosecutors say another victim saw the video and recognized Randolph.
When the family comes and administers some street justice and allegedly beat you up.
Oh, I remember
and
that
it gets
video.
streamed on Facebook. And then the person that you allegedly had sex with when you were a child sees the video and says, that's the man that raped me when I was a child. You can't make that up.
The criminal complaint says when the second victim was 5 and Randolph was 12, she was living with Randolph's mom on 46th Street. It alleges he sexually assaulted her several times over the course of a school year. That was 25 years ago.
Boy, that's crazy right there. 25 years ago. Hey, yeah, man, I need 9 people, man, to subscribe to the channel, and we'll be at 1,300 subscribers, y'all. Y'all give me the 1,300 subscribers, man. We just need 9 people, 9 more people, man, and I'll shut up. Yeah, if y'all want to show your love to shut up, man, let me get 9 of y'all to subscribe to the channel. We got 9 likes, 117 people in here, bro. Come on, man. Y'all ain't even hitting the like button, but y'all checking out the content, though. It's all good, though.
A security guard is recovering after police say a man attempting to steal from a downtown liquor store shot him in the leg. News 13's Madison Connor spoke to the general manager and has video of what happened.
The gentleman comes in at 11, around 11:03. Looks normal, like casual, like looks like an everyday person, beard, normal, clean cut.
It started as a typical Sunday night at El Rey Liquors on Central in downtown.
They asked if he needs any help. No, it looks like he was just browsing to buy alcohol. And then around 11:10 is when he's in the corner here, and he thinks one of my guys is not watching, and that's when he decides to come out with 2 bottles.
Surveillance video shows 35-year-old Kevin Metcalf as he attempts to leave the store without paying. A security guard then tries to pull Metcalf back.
The bottles break, that's fine, no one gets them, that's cool.
The video shows as employees turn to walk back inside, Metcalf pulls out a gun and fires towards them.
He shoots at him, assaults his life, attempted murder for nothing.
The general manager, Elijah, says the bullet went through the security guard's cab and through their front glass door.
It's sad, it's frustrating, it's frustrating. I was worried about my employees, is he hurt, is he alive,
Now, Elijah says the security guard is doing well and is recovering, but it's something he never wanted his employees to have to face.
I don't want my staff to come into work and have to feel fear for their life,
I get it's a liquor store, I get all that, but that's not part of the equation. You shouldn't have to watch out, you're going to get shot for just doing your job.
Madison Con.
Friday goals.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Subscribe to the channel.
Man, I told him I didn't want to do it. I done told her I didn't want to go. There you go, see? Because he already said to himself, I don't know. So, no, man, I just think changing the rules in the game when it comes to things like that, Jay, is you just leave it alone.
Real life.
It ain't real life.
Clayton and Logan are asking people to be on the lookout for some fake $20 bills. They say counterfeits used in a lot of big buys in several businesses in those areas. News specialist Mike Anderson explains what happened and what to look out for. Hey, Mike.
Hey, you know, what is really hard to fake is that treasury paper. You know, just feels different than the paper you put in your printer. Also, the real bills have that raised ink you can kind of feel with your fingernail. But, you know, police would like those fake bills out of circulation and to help finding the crooks that made them.
It can take at least a bit of effort to spot a fake.
4 or 5 different serial numbers showed up on all the bills.
But during the busy holiday shopping time,
Walmart isn't certain how many bills may have been given back out, but it could be as few as 3.
a number of fake $20 bills got past several cashiers on Christmas Eve at this Walmart in Layton.
Somebody went in and actually made 2 different transactions, 2 different purchases, paying with cash.
The only description, a man in a hoodie. But in Logan on the 17th, at least some surveillance video of some persons of interest.
It looks like, from our initial investigation, that it was the same 2 people at each of 4 businesses that initially reported these.
Logan police believe the same man and woman spent hundreds at Best Buy, Old Navy, and Buckle before making a smaller purchase at a McDonald's, all with fake 20s. In both cases, the bills get past the cashiers.
But then as they went through the change from that day later or went to the bank or whatever, they noticed that some counterfeit bills had been passed.
Which is why both police departments are concerned other customers might have gotten some of the fake bills back in change.
Probably the most noticeable to people would be just how the bill fills. They never get the paper quite right.
And at this point, there's no indication that these cases are related.
Begin tonight in Oakland, where multiple businesses were burglarized over the weekend. Criminals have been using cars to ram into them in order to steal things like ATMs.
KTVU's Amanda Quintana is here. Amanda, what more are you learning about this string of burglaries?
Well, we know that at least a handful happened in the early morning hours yesterday, and they're reportedly all linked to the same group of criminals. Mr. Crispy Professional Barbershop is just one of the places that was hit.
Surveillance cameras caught the moment a van backed up right into Mr. Crispy's barbershop.
They rammed it and came right in.
The criminals go straight for the ATM in the back corner, push it outside, load it into the trunk of a second car, and take off. It all took less than 2 minutes.
Neither vehicle had license plates. They had masks and was covered up.
The owner, Donald Smith, known as Mr. Crispy, showed up for work soon after.
When I pulled up, I saw the whole front of this was wide open. And it was unbelievable.
Despite the damage to the window, equipment, and a hole that looks right into the nail shop next door, he's most disappointed in the police response.
You know, people got families to feed, so it's just very depressing that they could at least showed up and, you know, sent somebody.
Eventually, a client was able to wave down an officer who just happened to be stopped at the intersection outside, but that was more than 8 hours after they called 911.
This was just super ridiculous that they just left all of us here stranded all these hours. And, you know, just to talk about it, you know, it's just, it hurts for that reason. Like, what about us? We paying taxes. providing services for the community.
The officer told Smith they were busy because 9 other businesses were also hit that morning, all using the same vehicles seen by their cameras. Oakland police confirmed a car rammed into a Chevron gas station a few minutes later, then East Bay Restaurant Supply and a 76 station where an employee fired shots, scaring off the suspects. Smith believes these criminals are coming from outside of the city, targeting Oakland because they know police won't chase them.
So as soon as they see you break a law or something and you get in the car and run, they act like they don't see you and go the other way.
He hopes the city and the police department can make some changes so no other businesses have to go through this.
I don't look forward to going anywhere. I love my city, but we just need the people to get rid of the criminals.
There has been a lot of criticism surrounding OPD's response times and their pursuit.
Who says time travel isn't?
Hey, we need 3 more people to subscribe to the channel. Can I get 3 more people to subscribe to the channel? And we'll be at 1,300 subscribers, man. Can I get 100 of y'all to double tap the screen to hit the like button? I need 3 more people to subscribe to the channel, and I need 100 of y'all to double tap the screen to hit the like button. Can y'all do that for me? If not, fuck you. I ain't tripping. If you're a real motherfucker, though, you'll double tap that goddamn screen, though.
Goes into effect today. Californians
even if you a bitch nigga, double tap the screen. If you a hoe ass bitch, double tap the screen. If you a fat little pig bitch that be going around snitching and telling on motherfuckers and passing their information around, bitch, double tap the screen, hoe.
Omar, good morning.
Jessica and Frank, good morning. Some local businesses and other supporters are hoping that this new law serves as a deterrent against organized retail crimes like the case we saw right here at the Americana just last year. Proposition 36 also imposes some tougher penalties for shoplifters and drug traffickers. We can take you to the video this morning and tell you here that after winning voter approval by more than 68% in last month's election, Prop 36 is now in effect. The new law makes shoplifting a felony for repeat offenders, allowing prosecutors to combine thefts over time exceeding $950, and introduces strict sentencing for drug dealers, specifically those trafficking fentanyl. Last August, here at Glendale's Americana Shopping Center, a brazen robbery happened at the Yves Saint Laurent store, where at least 30 thieves stormed the luxury retailer in broad daylight, stealing $300,000 worth of merchandise. Supporters of Prop 36 say it's a necessary step to address the rise in retail theft and drug-related crimes, but critics, including Governor Gavin Newsom and Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianca, warned that the measure could unfairly impact vulnerable communities and strain already limited treatment resources.
This isn't going to be an easy task. This is going to be...
We need one more person to subscribe.
Me working with all of our chiefs of police and me working with the Board of Supervisors to figure out how we're going to get more beds available for the inmates that, or for the arrestees that absolutely need to be held in custody.
A fast track to state prison and $100,000 plus, $110,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year. That the taxpayers will bear with no real outcome.
So again, this new law stirring up plenty of debate as to what exactly is the correct solution. But again, Proposition 36 taking effect today, with those supporters hoping that it deters organized retail theft cases. That's the latest for now. Live here in Glendale this morning, I'm Omar Lewis. Frank, Jessica, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you. Thank you to all the people that subscribe to the channel. Thank you. We at 1,300 subscribers, y'all. We at 1,300 subscribers, y'all. We on the way to 1,500.
Tonight showing a group of suspects
Don't crank that 1,500 off
and then robbing the businesses. This happened at 3 different locations on the city's north and northwest sides in the early morning of December 6th.
And taking another look at the video, you can see the suspects rushing in wearing masks. They pull out guns and then force employees to open the cash register. In one incident, they punched a worker, and in another case, they also robbed a customer. Police are still looking for the 4 men involved.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
All right, well, you've heard about your packages getting stolen off of your porch, but what about a package being stolen by the delivery driver while it's en route to your home?
Pennsylvania State Police set up a sting operation to bring one Grinch to justice in Westmoreland County. Our Chris DeRose has more on this story.
From this facility here behind me, one FedEx driver took it upon himself this holiday to become a package pirate. It all started 2 months ago. Pennsylvania State Police were alerted that packages containing Apple electronic products were not being delivered by FedEx. Upon investigation, State Police found out that those packages were in fact going through this FedEx facility in Hunker, and they were being loaded onto a truck driven by Mohammed Alsham Mason. However, once the packages were on his truck and out for delivery in Henfield Township, that's when they would go missing. So the State Police decided to set up an old-fashioned sting operation.
We used one of our phones and we actually put in a package, like a typical FedEx package, and we had that on the truck for Mr. Al-Shamasan to deliver, and had a designated address for him to deliver it to. We conducted surveillance throughout his work shift, and he failed to stop and deliver it at the location he was supposed to.
State Police met Alsham Mason while he was walking back to his car and found the phone out of its packaging and in his bag. And according to police, Alsham Mason admitted that he had taken the phone and planned to sell it to make extra money. For now, Alsham Mason is being charged with misdemeanor theft of an iPhone, which is valued around $700. But state police suspect that other similar theft charges may be forthcoming. Above all, state police want to remind everyone that this is the time of year where there is a big spike in property theft, and they want to encourage everyone to be vigilant when it comes to packages being delivered.
And if you didn't get an item, like a phone, that you were tracking it and it's supposed to come to your house that day, I would make a phone call. You know, a lot of times wait till tomorrow. No, that's not good. The tracking of the movement of products has gone a long way, and if it's not there on time, there's a legitimate chance, if it's a high-end electronic item, there might be something wrong with it.
Now, Mr. Alsham Mason did not make bail and is currently in the Westmoreland County Prison. Reporting in Hunker, Westmoreland County, Chris DeRose, KDKA TV News.
Yeah, John, this is a wild and dangerous high-speed pursuit. The van you see right there, we understand is a female driver. We don't know if there's anyone else inside that vehicle, but she's driving erratically. She's already slammed into a couple patrol cars, and incredibly, she actually chased a patrol car, went right at the patrol car, and the patrol car had to get out of the way.
Smoke dog, what's up?
As many as 2 LAPD officers have been hurt. We're right now on the 405 freeway northbound, coming up into the Sepulveda Pass. Sunset is coming up, that's Sunset Boulevard right there, and you can see from time to time she drives extremely fast, then she slows down, swerves in and out, to pit maneuver. They're doing the pit maneuver. They want to stop this. This woman is dangerous. We don't see a pit maneuver often on the freeway. The 2 LAPD officers have already been hurt. They're doing everything in their power to get this woman to pull over to the side and get this pursuit over. You see now they're going to pin her in, and that was not successful. She was able to get away once again. So they have about a dozen LAPD patrol cars behind this vehicle right now. Two officers, we understand, have already been hurt. We don't know how badly, but you very seldom see this. This is how badly they want to take this woman into custody. You can see the patrol car was damaged there, trying to get up to this van. It's a big van. They're trying to get right up next to it, slam it up against the side of the K-rail or the shoulder there, and that did not work. That was not successful. There's an LAPD helicopter overhead. We're still on the 405 freeway northbound. You see the
subscribe
right
to the channel. Double tap the screen and hit the like button.
Smooth sailing, if you will, all the way up into the San Fernando Valley. But LAPD officers want to get this over with. This woman is driving erratically, and she appears to be driving in an extremely dangerous manner. Here they go once again. They're going to try and stop this. Boy, look at the way the van swerved to the right. Now they've got it spun out. Wow. If she continues, though, she's going to go head on into the officers.
And do we know, Scott, we know a woman is driving. Do we know, are there any passengers in the vehicle with her?
We don't believe so. This is incredible. We don't believe so, but we don't know for certain. It's hard to tell because you can't get inside that van. But she is just flooring it right now, getting as much power to that vehicle as possible, and it's just spinning around in circles. It's a big van, though, and the patrol cars just don't have the weight or the mass to really stop this vehicle. But you can tell she's lost control of it. There's enough damage to the vehicle right now where she has lost control of that vehicle, and she can't really continue on. It looks like now they may be able to pin her and get her stuck, get her in between some of the patrol cars, but now she's going southbound in the northbound lanes of the 405, and look at all the patrol cars here that were headed northbound behind her. Now you can see those people just driving the freeway, headed right into this woman who's driving so erratically and so dangerously.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I've never seen police act so aggressively to try and stop a driver like this, and you can see why. She's really putting lives at risk.
Yeah, she chased a patrol car, John and Rachel. She went after the patrol car.
Once again, we begin tonight with the beating death of an inmate in a New York prison at the hands of multiple state corrections officers.
Yeah, we now have a body camera footage showing what happened between 43-year-old Robert Brooks and those officers. This is Governor Kathy Hochul is calling for these state employees to lose their jobs. The encounter happening on December 9th at Marcy Correctional
that's
Facility.
real. That was live. That was just live, bro. That was real content.
Brooks died at a hospital the day after
that was
the
real
assault.
content. That was just
on the
live.
morning of December 10th.
2.5 weeks after his death, the New York Attorney General's office today released body cam footage from multiple officers involved.
We got 233 people in here right now. Subscribe to the channel. Double tap the screen and hit the like button.
Later described his cause of death as asphyxia due to compression of the neck.
Everybody that drop a comment in the chat, I'ma subscribe to your channel.
So
go ahead and get out them bushes and drop a comment in the chat so I can subscribe to your channel.
Yeah, and we do want to warn you tonight, the video that you're about to see, it's very graphic and difficult to watch.
Disturbing new body camera footage shows the bloody face of 43-year-old Robert Brooks as he is being beaten by correction officers, struck more than a dozen times, all while handcuffed. It happened the night of December 9th in the infirmary at Marcy Correctional, just outside Utica.
My office investigates every case in which an officer of the law, including a correctional officer, may have caused the death of a civilian.
New York Attorney General Letitia James opened an investigation last week and on Friday released body camera footage from 4 officers' body cameras.
Yeah, that's messed up, man, how they beat that man up in jail, man.
That night at 9:21, body camera footage.
Hey, it's 100 people in here, y'all. Can I get 100 of y'all to double tap the screen?
Parallel with the ground.
Can I get 100 people to subscribe to the channel? And can I get 100 people to double tap the screen? Can I get 100 people to subscribe to the channel? And can I get 100 people to double tap the screen? Turn us up on the likes, y'all. Turn us up on the subscribers.
At 9:24, video shows this officer with his body cam off walk into the room and shove a cloth in Brooks's mouth.
Yeah, I can't wait till they send these motherfuckers right here to prison.
Times. Then this
that's
officer with the backwards hat
that's where they need to go. They need to go to prison
with Brooks's own shoe. At this point, 8 officers
and
surround
that boy
Brooks.
got 47,000 subscribers.
At 9:26, the officer that shoved something in Brooks's mouth can be seen stomping on him. 3 other officers then hold Brooks down as one officer punches him again. Seconds after taking his foot off Brooks, this officer punches Brooks in the rear 3 times. An officer then comes in with leg restraints. By 9:27, just 5 minutes of the 43-year-old being in this room, a winded Brooks is pulled up. The right side of his nose is bloody. An officer changes his gloves, and with another officer yanks Brooks up by the collar and presses him against the window. He's held there for 3 minutes before he's put back on the table. Brooks's pants are then stripped off his body. By this point, more than a dozen members of law enforcement are there. Many watching, some seen smiling during the ordeal.
This is horrific.
Norman Effman is an attorney with more than 50 years of experience representing incarcerated individuals and correction officers.
What's going to happen here is clear to me. There's going to be an indictment. And this is going to be a homicide case.
The Times Union reports that court records accuse 5 officers of hitting Brooks. One of them has since resigned. Meantime, Governor Kathy Hochul has called for the firing of all 14 state employees involved. That includes 2 sergeants and one nurse. The family of Robert Brooks has released a statement that says in part, with the Attorney General's release of these videos, members of the public can now view for themselves the horrific and extreme nature of the deadly attack. As viewers can see, Mr. Brooks was fatally, violently beaten by a group of officers whose job was to keep him safe. He deserved to live, and everyone else living in the Marcy Correctional Facility deserves to know they do not have to live in fear of violence at the hands of prison staff. Michael Schwartz, 7 News.
Well, the union,
I can't wait till they put
the
them
union
dudes
representing
right
those
there in
corrections
prison.
officers did release a
That's where they
statement
need
in
to be. They
response
don't
to the
need to
footage
get
today,
no
and that statement reads
probation
in part, what
none
we
of that.
witnessed
They
is
need to send their ass
incomprehensible,
to
to say the
prison
least, and is
so
certainly not
somebody in
reflective
jail
of the
can
great
whoop they
work that the
motherfucking ass.
vast majority of our membership conducts every day. This incident not only endangers our entire membership, but undermines the integrity of our profession.
Hey, y'all know why I'm not understanding? I'm trying to see why people are shooting, why family members shooting each other. You got kids shooting their dads. You got kids stabbing their moms. You got mothers shooting their daughters and stabbing their daughters. You know what I'm saying? Why family can't get along no more, man? Why family out here killing each other and shit now, bro? Like, if I wouldn't have started doing this stuff for this YouTube app, I wouldn't have seen the bigger picture that's going on in the world. You know what I'm telling you? It ain't like outside. Like, even though you got the outside people doing their crimes and shit to other people, though, it seems like it's more in-house shit going on than, you know what I'm telling you? Like, man, it's just crazy, man. By me just been doing this the last 5 days, man, I've been seeing so much family violence and family deaths and teenagers shooting teenagers and killing teenagers, man. This shit is a goddamn shame, man. Subscribe to the motherfucking channel. Hit the goddamn like button. Show your love here's the same. Show your love here's the same. Yeah, we about to save the motherfucking world. Yeah, we gonna save the world and we gonna save these goddamn babies, man. For real, we about to get on our Charleston White shit. Yeah, we gonna lie to the people and let them know, goddamn it, we doing it for the kids, and goddamn it, when they give us the money, goddamn it, we gonna take off running and be like, fuck them kids. We gonna get on our Charleston White shit.
Pull the trigger. Yeah, Lauren, and it's
subscribe to the channel, y'all.
Here in Lillington, specifically Harnett County, here with a 22-year-old woman now dead, and today actually would have marked her 23rd birthday. And the person who the sheriff's office believes actually pulled the trigger, her own mother.
That's crazy.
Tonight, an outpouring of reaction on social media for 22-year-old
Trill, what's the deal? What's going down?
Saturday, Harnett County Sheriff's deputies found the young woman shot to death in a car in the driveway at this home on Rainmaker Street in Linden. According to the sheriff's office, they went to the house around 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon to investigate a report of a fight between a mom and daughter. Video from that evening shows investigators collecting evidence. Hours later, they arrested Kazi's mom, 45-year-old Victoria Crosby. She's charged with murder just days after the Christmas holiday. Family and friends are set to celebrate Kazi's life with the balloon release in Fayetteville tomorrow, just 1 day after she would have turned 23 years old. Yeah, and tonight here, just a lot of questions that still remain. Neighbors there in the community, very tight-lipped and not sharing much of anything out of respect there for the family there in that tight-knit community. But Crosby, she had her first court appearance behind me here at the Harnett County Courthouse. Judge Joy Jones setting a bond amount at $1 million. Tonight, Crosby in that building just behind me here over the shoulder at the Harnett County Detention Center as she awaits her next court date in January. Live in Lillington tonight, Dwan Hogard, FS11, Eyewitness News.
Now this right here funny, y'all. Y'all gonna laugh on this one, bro. A Grinch breaking in a house on
Warning
Christmas.
about the hidden dangers of online dating. 2 men in St. Louis were robbed at gunpoint within hours.
New at 5, mostly every parent knows the pressure of saving to provide that holiday magic this time of year.
Well, one Detroit mom was working to create that for her children and grandchildren. She says a burglar broke in and stole much of what she's worked so hard for.
7 News Detroit reporter Sarah Michaels takes us to the home off of Grand River Avenue where this mother has a message of caution.
I don't have a lot, but I do a lot with the little that I have.
Donna Badon tells me that this Christmas, her kids wanted a home-cooked meal from Mom. She says that she was on the way to get groceries for one, and her 15-year-old son, Kendon, was pulling in the trash bins when someone ran in their front door and locked it behind them.
I was very, majority scared. I didn't know what to do.
Kendon tried to open the front door, but he couldn't. He tells me that he FaceTimed his mom, and both of them saw when, after a few minutes, the suspect ran out the back door.
He was a black male, brown complexion. He had dreadlocks, like shoulder length. I would say he looked in his 20s.
Once back home, Donna says she called Detroit police and was talking to them on her front porch when she noticed a silver HHR parked down the street and a man that looked like the suspect getting into it.
I said, "Did you just come inside my house?" And the guy wanted to argue with me, so the police told me just go inside.
Once inside, the family noticed that their upstairs door was kicked in.
There was glass and everything all over the floor when we got up there.
And most of their valuable electronics were gone.
His PlayStation, his book bag with his school computer, his trombone mouthpieces, my daughter's Xbox and all the games and all the cords and everything.
To have all of that stolen out of your home on Christmas Eve, how has that been for you guys?
It's been pretty much a nightmare because we can't really sleep because we're hearing sounds and wondering, are they trying to come back?
I reached out to DPD, who tell me they do have leads on a possible suspect. Still, the mother to 3 and grandmother to 3 tells me their family hasn't been able to feel safe since the incident. They took this family photo a few weeks ago saying, little did they know, a Grinch really would steal their Christmas.
This year we haven't had a lot, but the little we do have, it's not fair for somebody to come and just take it.
Now that's crazy, man. This dude that broke in these people's houses, man. Instead of getting this nigga that got a home invasion charge, man. He gonna get home invasion, all type of robbery. Man, this dude just to get an Xbox, a PlayStation, and a laptop, shit like that, man, that shit wasn't worth it, man. Yeah, that shit wasn't worth it. The time they about to give you for that, you should have just walked in the bank and just told them to hand you the money. Yeah, that's what you should have done.
Now, new tonight, let's switch gears. A cafe owner and the community that he serves are the victims of vandalism.
The suspects caught on camera targeting the Morningside Cafe in Detroit. Surveillance video showing one suspect throwing a broken cinder block at the front window.
Well, tonight, the owner is speaking out about the impact on his business and to the community. To 7 News Detroit reporter Christiana Ford.
You can tell from the for lease signs that the East Warren Avenue business corridor is still trying to make a comeback. That's why the owner of Morningside Cafe tells me he doesn't understand why his business was targeted.
When I came here on Friday morning and, saw the destruction to our property, that was devastating.
Over and over again, you can see 2 people throwing a broken cinder block into a window, trying their very best to get inside Jeffrey Lewis's coffee shop, Morningside Cafe.
They went at it a few times. If it wasn't for a couple cars that passed by, they would have continued at it and they would have made their way inside.
The damage they left behind, worth a little over $2,000, a hefty price tag for the small business just over a year old, trying to make an impact.
And that right there just really, I was, everything you can imagine, angry, upset.
Community members stepped in through GoFundMe to help replace the window and partial decal. The worst part for him, seeing a familiar face behind it all.
When I watch the footage and see okay, this guy actually went through our doors and here it is, he's the one that's causing this damage. It was very disheartening.
For Lewis, this goes beyond coffee. It feels like an attack on the community hub.
I know the importance of this place and what it means to a lot of people.
The cafe offers free space for community organizations, nonprofits, and free printing. And over the past year, Lewis says he's had to fight hard to keep it open. Earlier this year, Lewis says he was shot at. Before that, nearly didn't open because of a fire. And yet, Lewis says he is determined to keep fueling his dream of bringing coffee and vibes to the East Side.
That's part of my mission, the purpose of Morningside Cafe.
He hopes sharing his story will help police catch the...
An alleged porch pirate had a bone to pick with one of his targets.
Not cool, bro. Come on, not cool. Not cool at all. That's my man.
The Gloucester Township Police in Pennsylvania released a series of videos captured by a homeowner who says he was taunted by the thief over a few nights. It all allegedly started on December 9th when two suspects ran up to a house and took a package from the front. One of the suspects did a little victory dance for the security camera. Police say the homeowner posted the video on an app for the neighbors to see, hoping someone could identify the suspects. 2 nights later, a suspect came back to the house complaining into the Ring camera that his dance video was made public.
Not cool, bro. Come on, not cool. Not cool at all. That's my man.
Police say a few minutes later, the suspect came back and returned one of the items that was in the package he allegedly took, although it was broken.
Here, I'm gonna give this back.
Cops have used his return to get a closer look at the part of his face that isn't covered by a mask. They're hoping someone will recognize him and report him to authorities. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Now that shit funny. Now check this out.
This is a really ironic story.
Now check this out. These some sheriffs. They got busted for cooking crack cocaine. These are police officers cooking crack cocaine, y'all.
This is a really ironic story. So the Broward County Sheriff's Office used to cook their own crack cocaine involved in stings. Okay? Yeah, they used to actually cook their own crack cocaine. Put up the picture for a mask. We have kind of a feel-good ending to this story, according to CBS News 12 in Florida. For 3 years, the Broward County Sheriff's Office produced its own crack cocaine so it could sell it to people that deputies would then arrest for buying crack cocaine. Wait a minute. Wait. This is textbook entrapment. Now, what is entrapment? Entrapment is basically, hey, even though the person may have technically done something, the government created the scenario, and if it had not been for the government creating the scenario, I mean top to bottom, the crime would have never occurred. This is entrapment, all right? So they cooked the damn crack cocaine, made it themselves. It was a practice the Florida State Supreme Court repeatedly described as outrageous in its 1993 ruling that such reverse things violated an individual's right to due process.
Crack
more than 30 years later, though, a routine audit of documents found hundreds of those arrests
cooking the crack
and convictions
selling it, man.
are still on the books and part of people's criminal records, and it should not be. So on Friday, the state attorney for Broward County, Harold Pryor, announced his office planned to do something about that, declaring, quote, "It is never too late to do the right thing. These records may be a dim memory or an unfortunate part of history to many, but they have had a long-lasting and severe impact on the lives of the people who were arrested, as well as their families and the wider community," Pryor added. The state attorney's office explained that despite the Supreme Court's decision, many of these cases were never vacated. That means they could still weigh on the lives of those prosecuted under the unconstitutional program, affecting their ability to get a job, find a home, or
that shit.
Started an online relationship with a woman on Instagram and that he...
A pair accused of robbing a man of hundreds of thousands of dollars in jewelry and cash are in jail tonight. Police say one of the suspects had lured the victim from another part of the state
to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel.
Anna McAllister joins us from the jail where the suspects are being held.
Police say the victim started an online relationship with a woman on Instagram and that he drove all the way way down from Gainesville to South Florida to meet her, only to be robbed.
The charge is armed robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon. You were arrested
I appreciate y'all coming through, fucking with old Show Your Love, man. Thank you for everybody subscribing to the channel. Thank you for everybody hitting the goddamn like button, man. We about to get up out of here, though. Hold it down.
Because armed robbery is considered a dangerous crime, I'm required by law to hold you with no bond.